The last time that Michigan took the floor in a game that mattered, it was last March in San Antonio for a Sweet 16 bout with Villanova. And the Wolverines, of course, left that court that night with their heads down and their faces stern, their season having reached an end. Now, 7 months later, hope springs eternal again. The Wolverines begin a new journey tonight here inside Chrysler Center against Purdue Fort Wayne from the Horizon League. And Michigan is saddled with both high expectations and a roster that is teeming with new faces. Hello, everyone, and welcome to WCBN FM Ann Arbor and WCBN's presentation of Michigan basketball. Perched atop here inside Chrysler Center alongside Zachary Linder, I'm Jared Greenspan. Coby Segal will join us later on in this pregame show, and then I'll have the first half alongside Kendall Spencer. Welcome to WCBN's pregame show for Michigan Purdue Fort Wayne, as we're about 30 minutes to tip off here in Michigan's season opener on this lovely Monday evening. And it's a new season for the Wolverines, Zach, and when you take a look at this roster, one name stands out, both figuratively and literally. That's Hunter Dickinson, the big man in the middle at 7'1", put off the NBA draft for one more season to return for his junior year.
Yeah, obviously, by far the most important player for the Wolverines last year. And it certainly felt like when he wasn't on, the Wolverines really didn't have any chance. So obviously big for them, especially, as you mentioned, a lot of new faces with 5 freshmen coming in. Very important for them with the guys they did lose last year, because they lost several pieces, but their most important piece, Hunter Dickinson, is back as he tries to hone his craft and improve his draft stock and also help give this team stability as they develop their freshmen.
And Dickinson had a stellar season last year, as always. Just continued to expand his game. He's a lefty, but he worked with his right hand to get better with that right-handed jump hook. Also added a bit of a three-point stroke, becoming more of a perimeter threat beyond the arc as well. And it all starts with Dickinson, but I think what's most important for this Michigan team is that they have some new faces around Dickinson. Last year, so much ran through Dickinson, and when teams would send double teams Dickinson way, they didn't really have the power alongside Dickinson to complement him with three-point shooting. That's going to be a little different, though, this season for the Wolverines.
Yeah, and obviously, we're talking about the new faces. Of course, 5 freshmen coming in. The biggest name, I think, for sure is Jet Howard, obviously the intrigue, son of Michigan coach Juwan Howard. His brother Jace also plays here, and he led the team with 30 points of the 88 the Wolverines scored in their exhibition match against Ferris State Saturday, or Friday night rather. So definitely I think he's the biggest piece of the new freshmen coming in, who should really help this team add more pieces, as you mentioned, around Hunter Dickinson, so that they have a more well-rounded roster and are less dependent on one player and having their win chance basically ride solely on Hunter Dickinson.
And again, thanks for listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor here on this Monday evening. Our coverage of Michigan men's basketball begins tonight with the season opener against Purdue Fort Wayne. The Wolverines, as Zach mentioned, took the court Friday in an exhibition match against Ferris State, winning 88-75. The score is not quite a fair indicator of how lopsided the game was. Michigan's offense was fast-paced, and the Wolverines played very well. And the star of the show, of course, as Zach hinted at, was Jet Howard. 30 points and 22 minutes in his technical college debut. 10 of 12 from the field and 6 of 8 from beyond the arc. And Howard, after the game, said that he made no shots in warm-up, so he pulled off the old adage of quite literally saving them all for the game. Now, Jet Howard is one of 5 freshmen on this roster, and while Howard stands to have the biggest impact this season, that's not to say that the others won't have an impact at all. Doug McDaniel, the electric freshman point guard, figures to play a prominent role in the backcourt, and he's drawn a lot of praise so far this offseason. Taris Reed was 37th ranked nationally by 24/7 Sports. He's a big man in the middle that could be a backup center to Dickinson. And then there's Yousaf Kayat from overseas, the Lebanese product, who was a late addition to the recruiting class, committing in June. And then rounding out that 5-man class is Greg Glenn, who grew up alongside Jet Howard and should be more of a piece that will make an impact down the road.
Yeah, and obviously you mentioned Doug McDaniel. He only had 11 points Friday night, still third on the team. Also had 6 assists to go along with 4 steals. So obviously making his impact felt. But then as you mentioned as well, especially with these freshmen, as they're developing over time, but there's really not a whole lot we can take away from one exhibition match. We're really going to need to see them play through a decent portion of the season before we really get a feel for how this team's playing. Now, obviously, their starting non-conference schedule for the Wolverines isn't overly difficult. Struggled last year a little bit in non-conference, only going 6-4. They'd like to improve on that. But starting the first couple games here this week against Purdue Fort Wayne and then Eastern Michigan, playing against them in Detroit on Friday, should give this team some time to hopefully have comfortable leads where they're able to give their younger guys, the freshmen especially, time to develop and learn while being in the game without too much pressure.
And it's a bit of an ease-in schedule-wise at the start with Purdue Fort Wayne tonight and then Eastern Michigan at Friday. But then the Wolverines dive headfirst into some Power 5 competition, playing in that Legends Classic tournament in Brooklyn next week. Pittsburgh will be their first matchup on Wednesday. Then Arizona State and VCU are potential matchups on Thursday. VCU with some old friends in Brandon Johns Jr. and Zeb Jackson. And none of those 3 teams are world beaters, but they are legitimate Power 5 competition that Michigan will face early on, and that really gears it up for the gauntlet that is the second half of the non-conference slate. That includes a bout with 18th ranked Virginia at home, a trip to North Carolina to face number 1 UNC, and then perennial powerhouse Kentucky over across the sea in London. So it's not an easy non-conference schedule overall for Michigan, and with a roster with 9 new faces, the chemistry will be tested early on, but you have to think in the long run that's going to be beneficial for this group of Wolverines.
Yeah, as you mentioned, definitely a rather daunting non-conference schedule. Wolverines coming in the preseason AP poll, they were ranked 22nd in the country. One of 3 Big Ten teams that are ranked. Indiana leads the conference at 13, and then Illinois is directly behind Michigan at 23rd. But yeah, I mean, obviously they have the early games against Purdue Fort Wayne tonight, Eastern Michigan later this week. They also host Ohio State and Jackson State in a couple weeks, and then games against Lipscomb and Central Michigan. But their non-conference schedule, the games against Virginia, they host Virginia in a few weeks, in a matchup of teams that both really didn't meet expectations last year, looking to rebound, both starting the season ranked, and then of course playing Kentucky, one of the best teams in college basketball, as well as North Carolina, who's ranked number 1. So they have a little time to kind of get into gear, but not a lot of time. It's not like their entire non-conference schedule is soft where they have a couple months. They have pretty much a week, maybe if you really want to look at the most brutal part of the non-conference schedule, 3 weeks, but that's basically it. So they do need to get up to speed fast to hopefully improve on their 6-4 non-conference record from last year.
And that really magnifies the importance of these new players and new faces to gel early. And the most prominent new face is Jalen Llewellyn, the graduate transfer point guard via Princeton, who was originally committed to Clemson out of the transfer portal in April, but quickly changed his mind and is now set to start at point guard for the Wolverines. Llewellyn had a rough exhibition match, 2 points in 18 minutes, just 1 1 of 3 from the field, but he has drawn rave reviews and praise for his maturity, his ability to score at all 3 levels and control the offense for these Wolverines throughout the offseason. It's the 3rd straight year that Michigan will have a new transfer point guard. The trend began with Mike Smith, then went to Devontae Jones, and now it's Llewellyn's turn to initiate Michigan's offense.
Yeah, and of course you talk about, obviously the stats are what they are, but when you think about the intangibles of a team, and it definitely helps with a lot of new freshmen coming in, definitely helps the team that, especially with the transfer portal being what it is now, bringing in some of the more experienced guys so that your entire team isn't all new faces. You have that experience that really will help the chemistry of what really is a pretty young Wolverines team.
And Llewellyn has said the transition is smooth so far. He was able to be at Michigan early in June with all the other new faces and has acclimated well so far to the Wolverines. And again, it's really imperative that Llewellyn plays well to start. We saw last year with Devontae Jones, who it really took until about January, the heart of conference play, for Jones to feel comfortable and be his self. Mike Smith, by contrast, played very well very early on, and we saw the contrasts in those two teams, with Smith's Michigan team having no problems from the start and Jones's Michigan team being very rocky from the beginning. It's not as simple as that, but it does hold some merit. And as we shift gears here, we say goodbye to Zach Linder until the second half and welcome in Coby Segal.
Hello. Thank you.
Our second member of our pregame team as the show carries on here for WCBN Sports. Michigan and Purdue Fort Wayne set to tip in about 20 minutes or so from Chrysler Center. The crowd filling in. And Coby, let's go over the starting lineups for Michigan as it just dropped. It'll be the aforementioned Jalen Llewellyn to start at the 1. Kobe Buffkin in his sophomore year draws the start at the 2. It was an electric exhibition game for Buffkin, who notched 21 points. Then it'll be Jet Howard, speaking of electric, 30 points in the exhibition. Jawan Sun draws the start at the 3. Terrence Williams and Hunter Dickinson in their junior years at the 4 and the 5. Now let's talk about expectations a little bit, which we haven't hit on quite yet. It's a bit of an open Big Ten team this year. There's not a dominant team per se. Indiana's up there. Illinois is up there. Purdue, Michigan State, Ohio State. Michigan is lumped right in that batch, and coming off a year last year where they were 19-15, really on the bubble for most of the season after beginning the year with sky-high expectations. I think it's reasonable for Michigan fans this year to be excited about the prospects of this team and what they can accomplish.
Yeah, and I personally am very excited because we do have a lot of young players. I mean, Hunter Dickinson and Terrence Williams are the only players Michigan fans have really seen for a significant amount of time. But I think with like those new players and that a lot of our players are young, I am worried about the defense a lot, actually. They let up 75 points to Ferris State. Ferris State's a good Division II school, but they are D2. And, I mean, when you're a young team, you know, you haven't had a full season with strength and conditioning coach John Sanderson. Maybe you're not as filled out as some of the older players are. We have no Eli Brooks. So, I mean, I believe the line for the over-under today, I believe, is 151. If I was a betting man, I would take the over. I think I'm very worried about Michigan's defense so far.
And defense is something that the Michigan coaches have been stressing throughout the offseason. Defense was a problem last season. Of course, the other big problem last season was outside shooting, with Caleb Houston not exactly living up to the billing, and Eli Brooks really being Michigan's most prominent outside shooter. This year, it's totally a new batch of players. Jet Howard will be counted on to provide a lot of volume shots, and some older faces like Kobe Buffkin and Terrence Williams will be relied on for improvements from beyond the arc. But this is a Michigan team that lost 4 of 5 starters and 63% of its scoring. So while the fulcrum is the same in Dickinson, as you mentioned, Kobe, there's a lot different around here these days, and it really feels like it too.
Yeah, and I mean, their three-point shooting, the year they were the 1 seed, I mean, their three-point shooting was just fantastic. And I think, I mean, that's why, like, the additions of Jalen Llewellyn, 38.6% from 3 last season. Joey Baker didn't play a lot at Duke, but he was 40.5% from 3. I think that gives Michigan a whole nother dimension compared to last year. And I mean, Hunter Dickinson, I think he's going to be the key to 3-point shooting. Not only does he need the 3-point shooting to boost his NBA stock, but if he can shoot the 3 and play on the perimeter a bit more, I mean, it gives this offense a whole nother dimension. And he needs to make great decisions when down low on the block, because Purdue Fort Wayne and other teams, I assume, are gonna double Hunter probably from the backside. You know, maybe he can't see. Hunter's not exactly Nikola Jokic, but I think if he can make effective passes to the outside, I think that opens up so many open threes for Michigan.
And Dickinson, market improvement from beyond the arc last season, shooting 33% from 3. That included a career-best 21 3-pointers. Curious to see what that difference looks like going from last year to this year, which, of course, begins tonight. The countdown to tip-off here reads about 6 minutes. That's really until the festivities begin here at Chrysler Center with the anthem, the introductions, and the pregame hype video. The crowd filling in here on a Monday night. The lower level of the student section is full. The rest of Chrysler Center, not so much. Perhaps byproduct of a 6:30 p.m. tip on a Monday evening. Students still finishing up classes. Adults still finishing up work. We'll see what this crowd looks like come 15 minutes or so and as this game progresses. But let's talk about Michigan's opponent for the evening. It's Purdue Fort Wayne, the Mastodons, your reigning Horizon League champions. They split the title with Cleveland State last season before falling in the second round of their conference tournament and therefore missing any shot at the NCAA tournament. They're a sneaky, formidable foe, ranked 17th in the preseason College Insider mid-major top 25. They have one of the top defenses in the Horizon League, so while they don't really have someone who can match up with 7'1" Hunter Dickinson, what they do have is a scrappy defense that forces a lot of turnovers. And the other thing to look for in terms of watching Michigan's defense is the Mastodons take a lot of 3-pointers and a lot of catch-and-shoot jump shots. So they'll look to hoist those early and often. That's just your quick look at the Mastodons here tonight. Let's run through their starting lineup really quick. It'll be Damian Chong-Kui starting at the guard position, and his backcourt mate is Quentin Morton Robinson. Deontay Billups at the 3, Bobby Planutis at the 4, and then Rob Petty at the 5. And it's Petty, the graduate forward transfer from Vermont, who will be tasked with guarding Dickinson most likely. Again, Michigan, Purdue Fort Wayne in a couple minutes now. We'll slide over for introductions and the anthem. A few minutes left on our pregame show with tip-off slated for 6:31. Anything else you're looking for, Coby, tonight as the Wolverines take on the Mastodons, a foe that Michigan can't overlook early in the season? We saw last year against opponents like Tarleton State really gave Michigan fits when the whole world did not expect that.
Yeah, and Purdue Fort Wayne, you mentioned they're in the Horizon League. The Horizon League, one of my favorite leagues to watch. Just a small league, tough. They're just so gritty, electric games every night. And you mentioned Damian Chong-Kui. He's small, but he is so fun to watch. He is good. Mount St. Mary's transfer. I am very excited to watch him. But Purdue Fort Wayne, you mentioned they take a lot of threes. They also play fast. I think Michigan needs to be a little careful. And Michigan does have the better athletes, so Michigan is usually a little slower team. But I would kind of like to see them run as they have the better athletes.
And the Wolverines take the floor right now, bringing the crowd inside of Chrysler Center here to its feet. Michigan, Purdue Fort Wayne, about 12 minutes away from tipping off here. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan basketball. An exciting feeling around this time of year. It's November. It doesn't feel like basketball season yet, but basketball is a grind. November through March, it's a long, winding season, but there's always so much hope in November when the season tips off. That's especially true this time of year for the 22nd ranked Wolverines, who have the opportunity, as the pregame hype video just said, to raise a banner, perhaps this time next year, contingent on what they do, of course, this season.
Yes, and I mean, Michigan, I believe, has made 5 straight Sweet 16s. So, I mean, like, early in the year, yes, it would be great to be ranked #1 in December, but I'm not entirely sure that's going to happen. I think it's going to be similar to last year, where it's going to take time. So many young players, so many new players, and I think it's going to be towards the end in March where Michigan's going to play their best, and I think they get to another Sweet 16.
And it's year 4 for Michigan under Juwan Howard, which in and of itself is hard to believe. That Howard, who of course took over for John Beilein 4 years ago, is again at the helm for the Wolverines in year 4. It's been 4 successful years for Juwan Howard in Michigan. Of course, the COVID truncated season, then an Elite 8 appearance, then a Sweet 16, or I should say it's been 3 successful years so far, and Howard and company looking to make it a 4th. Now we're joined by our final member of our crew, Kendall Spencer. Kendall, you excited?
I'm so excited. I just spent an inordinate amount of time getting this software together. So we have a scoreboard, and I don't have to do it by hand.
Looks great, if I do say so myself. The countdown to tip-off is in the seconds now as we count down inaccurately to tip-off, because tip-off is 11 minutes away, but the clock is counting down to the national anthem. And then the other pregame festivities, it's the season opener. There's no feeling like it. Michigan, Purdue Fort Wayne here at Chrysler Center tonight. And again, if you're just joining us, the starting lineup for Michigan is Jalen Llewellyn, Coby Buffkin, Jet Howard, Terrence Williams, and Hunter Dickinson. That's 2 new faces sandwiched between 3 returning players, including, of course, the All-American Dickinson.
For the 107th season of Michigan basketball, in tonight's non-conference matchup featuring the visiting University of Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons and your University of Michigan Wolverines. At this time, we invite you to join the Michigan men's basketball team as they stand to demonstrate their fight for unity and inclusion with the playing of Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the
Fans, we ask that you please remain standing, remove your hats, and join us as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Active duty and veterans may keep their caps on while rendering the military salute. The anthem is performed this evening by the Michigan Basketball Band under the direction of Dr. Richard Fromm.
So tip-off just a few minutes away here from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and Purdue Fort Wayne in the season opener. Again, alongside Kendall Spencer, I'm Jared Greenspan. A couple minutes left here in WCBN Sports' pregame show as we take you up right until tip-off and then switch over to live coverage with the same people. It'll still be us. You can't get rid of us just quite yet. Michigan and Purdue Fort Wayne. Let's run you through Purdue Fort Wayne's starting lineup one more time for the Mastodons. In the backcourt, it's Quentin Morton Robertson and Damian Chong-Kui. Deontay Billups joining them on the wing. Bobby Planutis and Ra Pitti, the two forwards contested with guarding Hunter Dickinson. So Chong-Kui, Morton Robinson, Billups, Planutis, and Pitti, the five out there to start for the Mastodons, the reigning champions of the Horizon League. And we'll run through Michigan's lineup quickly. You're going to hear it right behind us in a second. It's Coby Buffkin and Jalen Llewellyn sharing backcourt duties. Jet Howard, the highly touted freshman, will start at the 3. Terrence Williams, the second, at the 4, alongside his childhood friend Hunter Dickinson at the 5.
That's sweet. That's not very highbrow analysis, but I just like it when people are friends.
Well, Dickinson and Williams grew up together in the DMV area. They played alongside one another and against one another, and it's led both of them to Michigan. Both are back for their junior seasons. Williams opting to stay, Dickinson opting to turn away the NBA draft for at least one more year. And now they'll start alongside one another. And if Michigan is going to achieve what it wants to achieve this year, they'll both play very important roles.
This is so not relevant, but I love the weird pregame spectacle, and I love how it compares from other sports. It's like, I don't know, imagine doing this in a hockey game.
Maybe we should campaign for that.
I'm going to send an email to whoever's in charge. If you're listening, just reach out.
I mean, the hockey games have their own...
Yeah. I like how it differs in sports. Like basketball is a lot of fun, I've noticed, with stuff like this.
We have WCBN's very own Zach Linfield down there in the front.
In a little orange onesie.
Well, I'm curious as to what the theme of the orange onesie is. Last year, of course, he gained fame for his moose costume for Moussa Diabate. Moussa's no longer here. The moose costume is retired. Not sure what the orange is. I think we'll have to ask him later.
There's like multiple onesies down there. I know this is the analysis you came here for, but there's multiple onesies, but Zach stands out the most. A, because it's orange, and B, he's very tall. So.
Very, very good analysis there. No moose, though. I for one, it's going to take me a little bit to get over the loss of the moose. Not that it would make any sense for him to wear the moose, but like, what does he do with the moose costume now?
You can just say it's like a loose reference to Canada. And then just,
We do have
yeah,
Jalen Llewellyn.
honor him and his Canadian heritage by being a Moose.
Llewellyn continuing the long tradition of Canadians to Michigan, dating back to Nick Stauskas, Ignas Brazdeikis, Caleb Houston, entered Jalen Llewellyn for this season. Very glad there's still that Canadian tie here. Pre-game video now, narrated by none other than Jalen Rose, is playing in the background. We are tipping off any minute here. Anticipation bubbling to the surface. Michigan and Purdue Fort Wayne. Thanks as always for listening to WCBN Sports. Alongside Kendall Spencer, I'm Jared Greenspan. We'll have first half coverage here on the radio with Zachary Linder and Coby Segal to replace us come the second half. Michigan rocking the all-maize uniforms today. Maize shorts and maize tops. Purdue Fort Wayne in the blacks. Black shirts and black tops. Michigan's jerseys with the blue lettering and blue numbering. Jalen Llewellyn, Coby Buffkin, Jet Howard, Terrence Williams, and Hunter Dickinson. The five on the floor stewing around, just waiting for tip-off, just like us.
I'm going to get my silly little favorite segment I do in all of sports out of the way before the game starts. If you don't know, and if you ever listen to me do a game, you will know I am from St. Louis, Missouri, and anytime there's a single athlete on any team from St. Louis,
Who do we have?
I like to give them a little shout-out, and this time it's actually a Michigan player.
Really?
Terrace Reed Jr. is from St. Louis. He went to Chaminade High School for 3 years before transferring to a school in Branson. This is my favorite segment, and I just want to give a shout-out to now having a Wolverine from St. Louis.
What a
Because we lost Hassan. Hassan was my guy. He's from the same school district as me. So now got another guy.
I could not have written up a perfect segue into tip-off. Thank you for that. Terrace Reed, of course, the 33rd overall recruit according to 24/7 Sports. Should have a big impact here for years to come, and of course everyone will remember him by his St. Louis heritage. Michigan, Purdue, Fort Wayne, the 2022-23 season set to tip off right whenever the ref decides that it's time to go. He's waiting for the TV signal, not us, don't blame us. It's on the television crew. Hunter Dickinson and Rob Petty both waiting right now at the Block M. We are almost ready to go. Michigan, Purdue, Fort Wayne. The buzzer has blared. Seems like a pretty good signal to me. Michigan, Purdue, Fort Wayne. The 2022-23 season begins with Dickinson losing the tip to Rob Petty, and it's tracked down by Damon Chong-Kui, who takes it right to left down the middle. He's guarded by Llewellyn. Gearing right, hands off along that wing to Morden Roberts. Now gives for Billups. Now on the left side, it's Petty. Dickinson lays off him, fakes the dribble handoff. Petty has nowhere to go with 10 to shoot. Hands off for Planutis. Now it's Chong-Kui on the left side, moves to the point with Llewellyn. Swings left side, Morden Roberts into the lane. On the kick now for Planutis. Drives left, gets inside, sent back by Dickinson. Llewellyn off to the races down the right side. Now he'll skid on the brakes and give up top for Dickinson as Michigan resets for its first offensive possession of the year.
Great start by the Wolverines. Perfect defense up until that drive, and then what a block shot by Dickinson.
Dickinson gives on the left side for Llewellyn with 11 on the shot clock. Llewellyn holds the orange above his head, gives for Buffkin, swing back left side Llewellyn, 6 to shoot. Post touch Dickinson, he's doubled. Dickinson flustered, puts it up, puts it in. A little jump hook from the baseline. A minute in, Hunter Dickinson christens the new season with a bucket. It's 2-0 Wolverines. Chong-Kui down the near side, hands off Morden Roberts, curls to the point, drives right, gives way for Billups, launches for three, and drills it. Damian Billups from downtown, and the Mastodons jump in front. 80 seconds in, it's 3-2. Llewellyn at the point, orchestrating the offense for Michigan. The Princeton transfer in his first game. Drive kick, left corner three. Jet Howard, first collegiate shot off the heel, no good. Rebound hauled in on the weak side by Planutis. Up on the right side, Morden Roberts giving the corner Billups. Jab step, separation, another three is pure. Damian Billups lighting up Chrysler Center early. It's 6-2 Mastodons. 18:08 to play in the first half as Llewellyn angles left. Give underneath Dickinson, another teardrop floater. There's a whistle, that's an offensive foul. The shot didn't fall anyway, but Dickinson a little overzealous in the lane, and that's Billups, who is off to a torrid start, who draws the charge. Deontay Billups, the reigning Horizon League 6 Man of the Year, drawing the start tonight, and he's drilled 2 3-pointers staking Purdue Fort Wayne to a 6-2 lead 2 minutes in. Billups with the rock now up top, hands off Morden Roberts, given the right side for Chongqui, blows by Llewellyn, weaves his way inside, kick out left side Billups. How about another? That one's off the mark. Rebound Williams, as Billups finally misses. Williams left to right down the far side. He's directing the offense for the Wolverines. Picks up his dribble, given the right wing Llewellyn. Around the Dickinson screen, works his way to the pocket. Llewellyn shut off baseline, now looks to back down the smaller Chongqui into the lane. Kick left corner. Coby Buffkin for three. Off the heel, no good. Long rebound tracked down by Planutis. Up ahead, Chongqui into the forecourt. Challenges Howard, now weaves back out to the left wing. Slips the screen, gets to the block. Stutter steps his way to the corner. And now resets up on the left side with Morden Roberts. And a whistle and an offensive foul is going to go on Morden Roberts, who pushed off of Buffkin.
My apologies. The software is annoying me, so I'm trying to get that fixed.
6-2 Purdue Fort Wayne up top. First substitution of the game comes via the Mastodons. A slew of substitutions. Jonathan Desjournay into the ball game, as is JoJo Peterson. It's Llewellyn who curls his way to the point, moving right. Picked up by Chongqui high on the right wing with 17 to shoot. Given the left side for Coby Buffkin, pressed by Morden Roberts way out near the logo. 12 to shoot as Dickinson comes for a high screen. Buffkin moving left. Buffkin walled off on the perimeter, gives for Dickinson, fakes a handoff, jets inside, stops for a floater and gets it to go. Hunter Dickinson is all 4 Michigan points. Wolverines trailed by 2 just over 3 minutes gone by. Chongqui at the point with Llewellyn. On the crossover, drops off right side. Morden Roberts drives on Howard, forces up a floater. Someone got a piece of it, and Howard corrals the loose ball. Jet Howard looking poised in his first college game. Comes the other way, left to right, drives right, goes for the sidestep. Kick left corner, Buffkin passed up a 3 and shuffled his feet. So travel on Coby Buffkin. 16:29 left in the first. Purdue Fort Wayne giving Michigan fits early at 6-4. First man off the bench for the Wolverines is a new face. It's Duke transfer Joey Baker, who was limited throughout much of the offseason, recovering from surgery on his hip, which has been a long-term nagging injury. Baker was on what Juwan Howard called a bit of a pitch count, but he's full all systems ahead here as he subs in for Jet Howard. So it's Llewellyn, Buffkin, Baker, Williams, and Dickinson, the 5 out there for the Wolverines. Michigan struggling a bit early, down 6-4, 3.5 minutes gone by. Chongqui up top, drives left into the lane, kick in the corner. Launching for a 3 is Peterson. That's off the heel. Rebound, pulled down, and now knocked out of bounds. Baker was there, so was Desjournay, and it's last touch by Desjournay. So Michigan basketball 16-12 and rolling here in the first half. Purdue Fort Wayne up top 6-4. All 4 Wolverine points for Hunter Dickinson. Llewellyn curls right, kicks back straight on. Baker for 3. Joey Baker way off to the left. Desjournay boxes out Dickinson and hauls in the board. Chongqui into the forecourt down the far side. The 5'8 guard working on the wing, given the right side for Peterson. Peters into the lane. Drops it back out to the point for Roberts. Roberts left side, it goes to Billups. Billups walled off at the foul line, spins inside, up with the left, wild shot, high off the glass, won't go. Dickinson at 7-1 with the rebound, and then he throws the outlet pass away. Firing it up the right side, Joey Baker was there, but his head was not turned around. And so that ends the first 4 minutes and 20 seconds of sloppy basketball for the Wolverines. 15:40 left in the first. Purdue Fort Wayne on top 6-4. Hunter Dickinson is the Michigan offense right now. He's got 4 points, also now 2 turnovers. And it's Billups who has sparked the Mastodons with a pair of three-pointers, responsible for all 6 of their points. So 6-4 Purdue Fort Wayne on top over Michigan. And as we hinted at in the pregame show, the Mastodons are a sneaky, formidable opponent. They are in the Horizon League, but they were Horizon League co-regular season champions last season. They like to force a lot of turnovers. They forced 3 so far. They shoot 3-pointers at a high volume. They've made 2 so far. So both of those aspects ringing true here in the first game of the 2022-23 season here inside Chrysler Center. For Michigan, the Wolverines look a little jittery, not totally comfortable initiating the offense right now. Jalen Llewellyn has played 4 minutes. He has only 1 rebound to show for it. Coby Buffkin has a turnover. Terrence Williams hasn't done much, nor has Jet Howard. And then Joey Baker, first man off the bench, missed badly on his first three-point attempt as a Wolverine. Michigan's defense has rounded into form after 2 early three-pointers by Deontay Billups. The Mastodons are in a 2-minute, 41-second scoring drought here.
Okay, I'm back. I'm really sorry. I can't get this to work. Hopefully I'll have it in time. I'll work on it through halftime, and hopefully we will have a functioning scoreboard for the second half. And now I will go back to being a color commentator and not, I don't know, IT.
Welcome back, Kendall. You were missed.
Thank you.
Valiant efforts on the score bug. We'll get that fixed for you all, but we'll be saying the score early and often here throughout the broadcast. It's 6-4 Purdue Fort Wayne on top, 15:40 to go in the first, as we're at the under 16 media timeout. I'm used to football media timeouts. I've almost forgotten that college basketball media timeouts are, dare I say, just as frequent.
Yeah, I think on every single basketball broadcast I've ever done, I have talked about how media timeouts in basketball are the bane of my absolute existence. I never know what to say. It always depends on who I'm doing it with. Should I be very serious? Can I make a little joke? I never know. So they irritate me to no end. If I was president, no more media timeouts.
Well, I'm on the same page, so I already voted today, so I can't vote for you. Waited 2 lines inside the UMA. Well worth it. Got my little I voted sticker. That's always a good feeling.
I don't think I'm going to get one because I had to send mine back home, so they can't give me a sticker.
I feel like they should mail it back to you.
Mail me the sticker.
I think that's
Missouri
a good.
voting.
6-4 Purdue Fort Wayne on top and with the rock here in the under 16 timeout on the other side of it. Chongqui drops off on the right side for Planudis, who swings on the left wing back to Chongqui, guarded by Llewellyn. Moving right, given the right wing Planudis. Got Williams to bite on a pump fake, draws Dickinson on a switch, fires to the logo for Chongqui with 10 to shoot. Drives left, slips into the lane, gets by Llewellyn and lays it in with the left hand. 5'8" and slippery Damian Chongqui to the rack, extending the Mastodons' lead to 4. Llewellyn up top, 15:05 to play underneath Dickinson on the block. Gathers, goes up with the left and lays it in. That's 7-1 Hunter Dickinson with all 6 of Michigan's points so far. 8-6 Wolverines trail 5 minutes in. Chongqui doubled on the right wing with Llewellyn and Dickinson. Michigan wanted travel, didn't get it. Billups slices into the lane, kicks out left wing Roberts. That three-pointer is no good, and it wouldn't have counted anyway because the court is wide, but it's not wide enough for Roberts, who had his foot on the end line.
Just an errant pass there. Tried his best, but can't not go out of bounds.
Llewellyn on the left wing takes it to the corner. Drops underneath for Dickinson. Double swing Buffkin. Williams, extra feed. Baker, right corner 3. Joey Baker, ring it up. First three-pointer as a Wolverine. And Michigan leapfrogs in front. It's 9-8. Chongqui swings left side. Roberts drive and kick on the right wing for Billups. Billups on the drive. Strip, loose ball. Williams has it. 3-on-2 the other way. Jets on the right side. Williams, skip feed, left wing. Buffkin lines up an open 3. That's off the mark. Dickinson the board. Goes up with the left. Got it on the foul. Hunter Dickinson flexing his way to the free throw line. He'll have a chance for a 3-point play. Michigan finding some rhythm now. It's 11-8 Wolverines. It's a 7-0 run in just 49 seconds.
Even with 2 different defenders on Hunter Dickinson, that's not going to be enough because you can kind of tell. I don't want to make it too obvious, but Hunter Dickinson is the tallest man on this basketball court, as he usually is, and it's painfully obvious.
Dickinson at 7'1" is being matched by Rob Petty at 6'9", 245 pounds. Picked up the foul there. He takes a seat after picking up his first. Dickinson from the free throw line, it's pure. 8-0 run for the Wolverines, 12-8 Michigan on top, 14-14 to play in the first half. Chongqui right to left, shadowed by Llewellyn, hands off for Morden Roberts, who's back in this game. Has it on the right side, around the screen from DeJournay. Give up top for Roberts. Roberts drives left, gets to the block. He's shut off by Llewellyn. Up top for Planudis. Planudis swings it left side. Chongqui. 8 to shoot with Williams. Step back, left-handed 3 off the mark, no good. Dickinson the right block board. Quick outlet left side. Llewellyn. Michigan looking to push. Llewellyn up the left side. Drive kick. Baker left corner 3. Another. Ring it up again for Joey Baker. 2 3-pointers for Baker. It's an 11-0 Michigan run, and the Mastodons want to talk it over. 15-8 Michigan, 13:40 to go. Timeout Purdue Fort Wayne.
And they ran away with it so quickly because one thing Michigan has been doing pretty well is forcing Purdue Fort Wayne to use almost all of that shot clock, just getting set up. Nobody's ever glaringly open. And then once they finally do get set up, they're running right into mistakes, while Michigan multiple times now has just driven down the court and, let Baker or Buffkin loose for three or gotten it into Dickinson on the inside really quickly. And all of a sudden you have that lead and it just goes away like that.
And how about Joey Baker nailing a pair of three-pointers? The transfer from Duke, a 38% career three-point shooter, shot 41% from behind the arc last season, didn't attempt a field goal in Friday's exhibition match, just 2 points both via the free throw line in 15 minutes. Early on, a vastly different story for Joey Baker. Assistant coach Sadie Washington just earlier in the preseason that Michigan needs to put Baker in a time machine to recapture the high school version of himself. He was in that much ballyhooed recruiting class with Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish at Duke. And here is Joey Baker with 6 points early in his Michigan debut. Out of the timeout, it's Planutis hoisting a left corner three. That's off the heel, no good. Fighting for the rebound underneath is Desjardins. He gets it. Kick out right side Chongqui with Llewellyn spinning at the elbow. Nearly dragged his pivot foot. Give up top Morden Roberts. Now it's Billups down the alley, spinning at the elbow himself. Throws it off the foot of Planutis. Morden Roberts gathers, flips up top for Chongqui with 4 to shoot. With Baker at the elbow, hoists up a step back J. It's an air ball, and Dickinson tips it to Williams. Solid defense for the Wolverines. Up 7, Baker on the left wing, thought about the three, thought better, lobs underneath Dickinson, goes up over the top of Morden Roberts and banks it in. Hunter Dickinson now with 11 points for the Wolverines. Chongqui on the left wing, hands off for Billups, drives on Williams, gets to the block, kick out right side, Planutis camped out for three, launching off the heel, long rebound, Carachet's back to Planutis. Given the corner pass is deflected by Williams, it's out of bounds. It'll stay this way. Michigan's defense suffocating. Wolverines have really turned it up a notch. And Kendall, you want to celebrate? Here comes Terrace Reed.
St. Louis! I said that every single time Hassan Haskins ever did anything, and I intend to do that for at least the next 3 years.
So Dickinson, who has 11 points on 5 of 5 from the field, has played pretty much as perfect of a game as you can so far, gets a seat in favor for Reed, who has his first collegiate minutes right here. Chongqui, who's been quieted so far tonight, just with 2 points, with 10 to shoot, has it at the logo. Guarded by Llewellyn, moving left, shakes off the screen, turns the corner, gets to the block, shot sent back. Jalen Llewellyn using that wingspan to send back Chongqui's shot attempt, and Purdue Fort Wayne will have it out of bounds with 4.8 to shoot. And Llewellyn takes a seat. Here comes Doug McDaniel. So 3 freshmen on the floor for Michigan, McDaniel, Howard, and Reed. Chongqui looking inbound, drops it underneath. Billups, shot blocked by Terrace Reed. McDaniel into the forecourt, down the alley, goes to the rack and has it stripped out of bounds. Last touch by Billups. It'll stay this way. Quite an introduction for Terrace Reed, St. Louis product.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Anthony Roberts back into the game for Purdue Fort Wayne. It'll be Jet Howard to inbound underneath the basket for the Wolverines. Howard searching, rifles right side, Terrence Williams, played by Planutis. Gets a screen from Reed, rumbles left down the alley, Williams to the cup, off balance, shot is good. Nice balance by Terrence Williams, who hangs and hits to put Michigan up 11. Morden Roberts moves right, hands off for Billups. Billups scissors his way into the lane. His pass deflected. Now he gets it back behind the arc on the left side with Howard. Williams strides to the block, pivots, goes up. The floater, wild shot, no good. Right into the lap of Desjardins, who misses the layup. And Reed snarls home the board. 11:40 to play. Next whistle under 12 timeout. Jet Howard 4-3 on the right wing. Ring it up for the first time as a Wolverine. Jet Howard puts Michigan up 14. And now a steal at the other end by Joey Baker. And he's fouled in frustration by Morden Roberts. It's all coming up Michigan after a slow start. 22-8. Wolverines up. 11:30 to go in the first half. We're at the under 12 timeout. And it's behind the arc where Michigan is suddenly thriving. Joey Baker with a pair. And how about that bomb from Jet Howard?
It's great to see them getting active in the 3-point, from 3-point early. Especially when, like I've mentioned, a lot of it's quick. Not only are they, making those threes, they're just coming right down, maybe taking a second, and then they're shooting them. And Purdue Fort Wayne doesn't have an answer. They can't stop them because they're right off the break, and they're not making their shots, so they don't have any time to get set up.
You remember when this game was 8-4 in favor of the Mastodons?
No, because I was trying to get this software to work.
Well, believe me, because it was. And over the last 3 minutes and 35 seconds, which isn't a whole lot of time, Michigan has gone on an 18-0 run. They're 5 of their last 5 from the field, but also suffocating defense. Purdue Fort Wayne 0 of their last 8 and 1 of their last 12. So it's all Michigan so far. Whatever early jitters and kinks they were working through, those have clearly subsided, and Michigan is rolling along. 22-8 the score here at the under 12 timeout. 11.5 minutes left here in the first half at Chrysler Center. The season opener between Michigan and Purdue Fort Wayne. A lot of impact so far for a number of Michigan players. Hunter Dickinson got Michigan going early with 11 quick points, and then Michigan continued to thrive when Dickinson came out. Jet Howard nailing a 3. We've seen some strong plays from Terrace Reed on the defensive end, and 2 3-pointers for Joey Baker. So these new faces coming into the ball game and making an impact in their first game in a Michigan uniform. (22-8 the score. Michigan on top. You're listening to WCBN Sports' coverage of Michigan men's basketball, the season opener between the Wolverines and the Mastodons. Monday night here at Chrysler Center, a bit of an early start with the 6:30 tip. Crowd filtering in. Student section is strong. The band is loud. And I'm here as Jared Greenspan alongside with Kendall Spencer, bringing you the first half action here on WCBN. Hunter Dickinson with half of Michigan's points, looking as dominant as usual in his first game that matters since March. Dickinson turned down the NBA draft to return for at least one more season as a Wolverine. Struggled in the exhibition match against Ferris State on Friday to the tune of just 9 points in 21 minutes, committing 4 fouls. A vastly different story so far tonight, with 11 points on a perfect 5 of 5 from the field. 5 Wolverines out of the under 12 timeout here. It's Doug McDaniel, Coby Buffkin, Jet Howard, Terrence Williams, and Terrace Reed. So those 3 freshmen sticking out there, Reed, McDaniel, and Howard. It'll be Doug McDaniel, the springy 5'8" point guard, taking it left to right for the Wolverines. Dumps it off on the right wing for Terrace Reed. Hands off Coby Buffkin, moving left. Give way for Jet Howard, curls right. Howard down the alley, runner off the window, won't go. And the rebound is grabbed by Roberts. Jonqui right to left on the far side, played by McDaniel up the right wing. A matchup of 2 diminutive point guards. Given the corner for Roberts, pounds his way baseline and throws it away into the arms of Terrace Reed. Coby Buffkin left to right down the far side. He's played by Roberts. Under 11 to play in the first half. Buffkin stumbles at the point, now drives left, strides, hangs, off balance. Shot is good. The southpaw Coby Buffkin with the left hand drops home the teardrop floater. Planutis now jets free down the right side and lays it in as Michigan's defense suffers a breakdown, and Juwan Howard has his hands on his hips along the sideline. 24-10, Michigan still in front. 10:35 to play in the first half. McDaniel at the point, gets a screen from Williams, moves left, turns the corner, jets to the rack. Reverse layup is sent out of bounds by Phillips, who stares down McDaniel. A rude greeting to hit the beginning of his college career as Phillips sends it back. And it'll be Purdue Fort Wayne ball. Jace Howard into the ball game now. A cool moment here for Juwan Howard. Both his sons sharing the court, Jace and Jet.
I'd like to give Jet a shout out for his very bright pink shoes.
Stylish for sure with the neon pinks. Planutis has it on the right wing for the Mastodons, played by the aforementioned Howard. Given the left side, Roberts drives by Jace Howard, goes inside, and that's blocked by Terrace Reed. Purdue Fort Wayne recovers though, and it's Petty who drops home the right-handed hook over the top of Reed, who's been active defensively now with a block and a steal. 24-12, Michigan doubling up Purdue Fort Wayne, under 10 to play in the first half in the season opener. McDaniel on the left side, works around a Reed screen to the logo, kicks back left side, Coby Buffkin drops underneath for Reed, 16 feet away on the left side with 12 to shoot. Jab steps, now backs down Petty, goes for the left-handed hook, and it's short. Rebound plucked out of the air by Peterson. Quick outlet up the left side for Roberts with Buffkin. Give left wing for Peterson. Now on the right side to Chongqui, matched up with McDaniel. Drives left, puts up a contested shot from the elbow and a whistle and an offensive foul as he leaned into McDaniel, who wound up on his backside. That's the 7th turnover for the Mastodons, which hands the ball right back to the Wolverines.
Mastodon's inability to really capitalize on opportunities like that, kind of proven to be potentially insurmountable here, especially with how quickly Michigan is coming back down and scoring themselves.
Ball knocked out of bounds up the far sideline. Mastodons shooting just 28% from the field. Michigan shooting 59%. Well, that'll explain the 24-12 scoreboard disparity. Coby Buffkin will inbound in front of the Mastodons bench right next to the scoreboard. Gives for McDaniel, curls high on the left wing, pushes up top for Jet Howard to the foul line, rises, and it rolls out. Strong rebound underneath, goes via Planutis. Chongqui into the forecourt down the near side, played by McDaniel, wraps around a screen to the point, moves right, giving the right side wide open for three. It's Morden Roberts, and he cans it. Ring that one up for Purdue Fort Wayne, their 3rd three-pointer of the game, and it's a 9-point ball game, 24-15, 9 to play in the first. Buffkin moving to the point. Played by Chongqui as he backs up towards the logo, waits for a screen from Reed moving right. Buffkin hesitates, now drops underneath for Reed. Reed hesitates himself, goes up and is fouled by Petty. Reed waited a beat before going up. It allowed Petty to recover, but he got plenty of forearm on the way up. And so Terrace Reed with a chance for his first college points heading to the free throw line.
Great strategy by Terrace Reed, who may have mentioned 6'10", and one of the closest defenders to him was 5'8".
Speaking of may or may not have mentioned, Terrace Reed is from St. Louis.
I didn't even say it this time. Now I'm getting mocked.
I like saying it.
I'm working so hard to bring you guys this score, and all I get in return is scorn.
Terrace Reed off the heel, no good. The St. Louis native will have to wait one more time for his potential first collegiate point.
Not getting it, though, would be so St. Louis.
8:43 left in the first half, 24-15. And Reed banks it in. Well, that's a way to score your first college point. A banked-in free throw. We'll say that he called it. 8:40 and rolling in the first half. Michigan back up 10, 25-15. Planutis hands off Chongqui, moving left, curls around a screen, draped by Reed, given the corner. Morden Roberts works his way to the foul line, now rises for an 18-footer and sinks it. 5 straight points for Morden Roberts, or Morden Robertson, rather, and it's 25-17.
His shot is so smooth. Like that, I knew if the second was off the hands, that was going in.
A redshirt junior from Radford with a strong showing so far. McDaniel give up top for Jace Howard underneath Reed. Reed is doubled and has the ball poked away by Morden Robertson. Peterson in the forecourt. Left side, Morden Robertson launches another three off the heel. Long rebound, left elbow, goes to Jet Howard. Into the forecourt. Howard, drive, kick, right corner. Howard to Howard. Jace Howard rings in a three. Brother-to-brother connection paying dividends, and it's 28-17 Michigan. That's a cool moment there as Morden Robertson knifes inside, was left alone. The floater is good. McDaniel left his player.
I would remember that forever. Getting, your first connection with your brother like that.
McDaniel on the left wing, swiveling away from Chongqui, works his way to the logo. Kick right corner, Buffkin. He'll fire up a three off the heel, no good. A rebound pulled down by Planutis. Up on the left side, Morden Robertson with Buffkin, works his way to the point. Draped by Reed, lobs underneath and totally threw it away. Was looking for Mulder, airmailed him, and that's the 8th turnover for Purdue Fort Wayne, and it'll take us to the media timeout. 28-19 Michigan on top. The Mastodons, though, have recovered a bit after Michigan went on a whopping 18-2 run. Purdue Fort Wayne has hit 4 of their last 5 field goals. And a lot of that is because of the aforementioned.
I was going to say, has Purdue Fort Wayne recovered or has Morden Robertson recovered?
Morden Robertson definitely has recovered.
Because at this point, I think they are just synonymous.
7 points, 3 of 4 from the field for Morden Robertson. Averaged 7.4 points a game last 2 seasons ago. He redshirted last year after transferring in from Radford. So Morden Robertson has been waiting for this moment much longer than most to get back onto the college basketball court in a setting that actually matters, and he's wasting little time in pressing in the early going here.
We have points. Timer I'm still working on, but we've got points.
We'll take points. Kendall multitasking here. Very impressive. Expert color commentary, doing the horse thing, and doing the scoreboard.
I'm a woman of many talents. What can I say?
28-19 Michigan on top. Hunter Dickinson will check back into the ball game for Terrace Reed on the other end of this timeout. Dickinson, no surprise, has been Michigan's most productive player with 11 points on a perfect 5 of 5 from the field. Doug McDaniel has looked a little shaky so far at point guard. Coby Buffkin just 1 of 5 from the field and 0 of 3 from deep after scoring 21 points on 3 of 5 from long range in Friday's exhibition. And then both Howards, Jace Howard nailing his first shot, a three-pointer, recipient of the assist from his brother Jet, who has 1 three-pointer of his own in 11 minutes. So not quite the auspicious start that Jet Howard had on Friday with 30 points in 22 minutes, but I don't think anyone expected him to replicate that.
He's saving it. I don't know for against who, but he's saving it.
Well, one day this year, Jet Howard will have a great game for sure, and we'll know what he was saving it for. 28-19, 7:15 in the first half. I gotta ask, what do you think of the DJ so far?
It's been okay. I don't know. I think I'm vaguely haunted by some past Michigan football DJs, of whom I will not.
You don't want to name names?
No. This is a cordial broadcast, and I'm not going to insult anybody.
We'll leave it up for interpretation.
If I have certain flashbacks around specific arcade games, who's to say?
Who's to say? 28-19 Michigan, that's the score here in Ann Arbor, the season opener, as Jalen Llewellyn walks it left to right. Give it the point for Dickinson, back to the basket, guarded by Desjardins. Dickinson swings left side for Llewellyn, still looking for his first bucket as a Wolverine, wraps around the screen, hop steps into the lane, takes it to the rack, strong take, and he banks it in. Right on cue, Jalen Llewellyn cracks the scoreboard, Michigan up 11.
Sorry, everyone, I had to be real.
That is a perfect, valid excuse, except you were being fake
Except I was
tonight.
late, yeah. Okay, by like 10 minutes. I was working up. I was trying to provide you guys the score.
And met at the rim is Desjardins, sent back by Dickinson. Llewellyn scampers into the forecourt, hands up on the left wing for Buffkin, gives for Dickinson. Dickinson looking backdoor, was covered well, gives to the point for Buffkin instead, wraps around the screen, moving left, giving the corner Llewellyn. How about a three-pointer? Rattles in and out, it was halfway down. And the rebound snared by Desjardins, his fourth. Chong Kui, who has 2 points up the right side, wraps around the screen, kicks back in the right wing for Peterson. Matched by Buffkin, drops off in the short corner for Desjardins with Dickinson. Rumbles his way to the elbow, hands off Chong Kui. Llewellyn busts it open, he's got a steal. Into the forecourt, down the other way, lays it in. No, sent back. Desjardins. Llewellyn a little lackadaisical. Morden Robertson the other way now for the Mastodons.
Absolutely nothing fancy will be allowed.
Chong Kui turns the corner, slips through traffic, give in the left corner for Peterson. Rims out on a three, strong side board Dickinson. Llewellyn left to right down the far side, picked up by Chong Kui, hands off for Jet Howard around the Dickinson screen, pulls up for a left wing three, sweet stroke, no good. Jace Howard the board, goes up, layup, no good, but he's fouled. Jace Howard bailing out his brother Jet, whose three-pointer hung on the rim for an extra second, and that's the 6'7" Jace Howard soaring in for the board. He's fouled by Desjardins.
Love the tenacity there.
At the line, shooting 2 from the Wolverines.
Put the body on the line.
Jace Howard.
I say that a lot more in hockey than I do in basketball, so I wanted to say it when it applies.
First free throw good by Jace Howard. Puts Michigan up 31-19, 5:32 left here in the first half. Doug McDaniel into the game for Jalen Llewellyn.
Doug McDaniel.
One more free throw upcoming for Howard.
Man, I'm behind.
And that one rattles in and out. The rebound for Planutis, who's right back into this ball game. Morden Robertson, who's had the hot hand with 7 points, carries right to left, and first a whistle underneath. I think a foul is going to go on a Michigan player. Didn't quite see who it was on.
Purdue Fort Wayne has not scored in over 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 15 seconds, to be exact.
The foul will go on Jace Howard. First team foul for Michigan. Morton Robertson swivels, kicks in the corner for Roberts. Back to the point, Planutis swings left side, Billups. Now Morton Robertson around the screen to the elbow, pulls up off the bounce, over Howard, rolls off the rim. Coby Buffkin skying for the rebound. Buffkin left to right down the near side, approaching 5 minutes left in the first half. Buffkin drives left, hesitates, gets to the block, takes it strong, and lays it in. Coby Buffkin has added 20 pounds of muscle since this time last year, and it paid off there.
Is that a true fact?
You think I'm just making things up?
It sounds like something you'd say. I don't know. That's a lot. That's very impressive.
It is impressive. Buffkin says he feels it every time he walks onto the court. It makes a big impact, and I don't think he's making that layup there last season without it. A whistle here on Jace Howard. That's his second foul up the far side. Another sideline out of bounds upcoming for the Mastodons.
It's great when you can see your hard work pay off in real time. Well, I guess he didn't see it. I saw it. He experienced it.
Touche. Morton Robertson at the logo with McDaniel, dribbling with the left hand, tosses up the right side for Planutis, played by Jet Howard. Shot clock down to 10 for the Mastodons. Planutis got to make a move. Given the left corner, Morton Robertson straddles the baseline and throws it away. Dickinson the steal. Up ahead, Jet Howard. One man to beat. Goes up Planutis. Lays it in. Jet Howard, silky smooth in the open floor. Wolverines have stretched the lead to 16. Howard with the steal. Lobs left side, McDaniel. McDaniel with the yo-yo fake. Gets to the rack. The floater, no good. And the rebound by Planutis. Oh, Tug McDaniel breaking out the moves. Everything but the finish. Mastodons back the other way, down 16.
Sometimes things are so cool, though, that they honorary count.
That should count.
So I would do that. I'll give him half a point.
Morton Robertson feeling it, drills a right wing three. He's the first Mastodon into double digits with 10.
And breaks the 3-minute scoring drought.
35-22, Michigan up top. McDaniel down the far side. Fakes the handoff, works his way to the corner. Pass looking for Dickinson. Mulder fronts it, knocks it out of bounds. And that'll take us to the under 4 media timeout. 35-22, Michigan on top of Purdue Fort Wayne with 3:45 to play in the first. Should be noted here that Adam Bressler has commented in our YouTube chat that he loves this DJ.
Adam is exposing my takes. Adam, we aren't supposed to name names.
Adam has taken a break from his Tom Brady discourse to talk about DJs for a little bit. Good personal growth there for Adam.
We might never see this again.
35-22, Wolverines on top. We'll run you through the box score really quick. It was a slow start for the Wolverines, who were down 8-4 and then ripped off a 20-0 run. Hunter Dickinson with 11 points leading the way, and then it's a balanced scoring effort. Joey Baker has a pair of threes. Jet Howard has a three. Jace Howard has a three. Coby Buffkin has 4 points. Jalen Llewellyn, Terrence Williams each with 2, and then Tyrus Reed with 1. And you know who's been leading the way for the Mastodons. It's Morton Robertson with 10. We'd be remiss if we didn't note that Gerard Godfrey, who was second in the league with 15.2 points per game, or ninth in the league with 15.2 points per game last season, and fifth in assists with 3.9, is not playing tonight. One of the best pro prospects at the mid-major level, so Michigan certainly caught a break there with Godfrey's absent.
And yeah, you can feel it on the Purdue Fort Wayne side. I'd also like to give it whatever the opposite of a shout out is, to my friend Sydney. Just participate in the silly little camera thing. I saw you didn't do it. Are you
saying the silly little camera thing? Do you mean the bongo cam?
The bongo cam. Yeah, she did not play the bongos. So I'm going to tell her tomorrow that I gave her a shout out. She's going to think it's positive. Wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
participate.
If you come to the game and don't play the bongo cam,
you need to be prepared to bongo at all times.
What's the point of even going to the game?
I am an enthusiastic, silly little Jumbotron game participant.
I will say, I think the bongo cam is one of the better ones.
Yeah. Maybe it's because, if the Jumbotron gives you opportunity to do something silly, you should just do it. Maybe I come from a city with the stupidest tradition in the world, that is the St. Louis Blues power play dance.
What's the city?
It's St. Louis, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the power play dance is very silly. And I participate in every time, and I've gotten on the Jumbotron like 2 or 3 times because of it. So I'm forever in debt to silly little Jumbotron dances.
35-22 in this ball game. Michigan up top. Terrence Williams lasers it underneath for Dickinson, who is fouled by Mulder.
That was quick.
Took off just 2 seconds from the clock. And Dickinson will head to the stripe.
Mulder is from Iowa, so I guess I'll give it a shout out to the entire state of Iowa.
Why not?
My dad's from there. Shout out to my dad.
Dickinson 1 of 1 from the line tonight. Make it 2 of 2 as he knocks home the front end of the 1-on-1. Jalen Llewellyn will check into the ball game here for Doug McDaniel. 36-22, Wolverines on top, 3:43 to play in the first. Dickinson now with 12 points. He's yet to miss from the free throw stripe or the field, and he survives the announcer's jinx as he knocks home the back end. 37-22, Wolverines on top. Chong-Kui right to left. He's played by Llewellyn. That's been the primary matchup today. Chong-Kui moving right, pushes for Morton Robertson, drives on Bufkin, works his way to the baseline. He's sealed off nicely. Back out for Chong-Kui with Llewellyn, works his way across the lane. Tough fall-away shot with the left hand, rolls off the rim. And Dickinson with his 6th rebound.
It's been a successful matchup, too, as Chong-Kui has only 2 points and is 1 for 6.
Llewellyn left side for Bufkin. Bufkin drives. He's shut off by Morton Robertson. Gets a Dickinson screen. Kicks back underneath. Dickinson goes up with the left hand. There's his first miss. It rattled in and out off the backboard. Mastodon's the other way. Chong-Kui moves left. Curls by Dickinson. Given the corner. Planutis for 3, and he knocks it home. Ring that one up for Bobby Planutis. And Purdue Fort Wayne is within 12, 2:50 and counting to play in the first half. Michigan shooting 50% from the field as Dickinson gets it at the point, back to the basket, pivots to face the rack. Jab steps given the left side for Llewellyn with Chong-Kui, uses a screen as he works his way to the logo. Rifles right side, Terrence Williams spots up for 3, in and out, and a strong rebound underneath for Mulder, who boxes out Dickinson. Morton Robertson down the middle, drives right on Bufkin, gets to the elbow, hop steps into the lane, drops off left corner for Billups, fakes drives by Williams, but he stepped out of bounds for the 2nd time tonight.
I've been reprimanded for mentioning the state of Iowa and not mentioning that my best friend is there currently. So there's your shout out for going to school in Iowa. Okay.
There we go. 37-25, Michigan still up 12. Joey Baker, who has 6 points to his ledger, is into the ball game. Llewellyn at the point, working with Morton Robertson at the logo. He's draped all over him. Llewellyn dribbling with the right hand, now with the left as he swivels that way. Given the left side, Jet Howard. Howard around the screen, zigzags into the lane, kicks up top for an unsuspecting Llewellyn, gathers, lows up for 3, off the heel, no good. Long rebound, Karams out to the Mastodons as Billups collects the ricochet.
Morton Robinson was all over that play. From defense, he got the rebound. He's just making his presence known on both sides of the court.
Floats across court to Planutis, given the left side for Chong-Kui with Llewellyn. Drives, scoop shot with the left, high off the window, it's good. Nice little underhand scoop shot for Chong-Kui. And the Mastodons are within 10. Michigan, 0 of the last 4 from the field with a scoring drought over 2 minutes. Under 90 seconds left in the first half. Williams to the foul line. Played by Planutis. Rifles it right side, Jet Howard spots up for 3. In and out, and not in again. It stays out. Nearly thought that one was going to go back down.
I think this hoop might be cursed.
And Morton Robertson is bumped at the other end by Jalen Llewellyn. Michigan has fallen stagnant on both ends of the floor. 2 of its last 10 from the field. And now a foul from Llewellyn. The Mastodons starting to find their groove a little bit.
A tale of 2 scoring droughts, because now it's Michigan. They have not scored in 2.5 minutes.
37-27, 71 seconds to play in the first half. Baker, Howard, Llewellyn, Williams, and Dickinson, the 5 on the floor for Michigan. Inbound comes into the point for Chong-Kui. He's played by Llewellyn. Chong-Kui angles left, giving the quarter. Planutis, clean look at a 3. That's short. Flying in for the rebound is Peterson. Can't finish on the putback, but he's fouled. No one boxed him out. He ripped it away from Dickinson. And he'll head to the free throw line as a result.
I don't think anybody even saw him coming, and I'm just going to go ahead and include myself in anybody.
And JoJo Peterson will head to the line for 2 with a chance to make this a single-digit ball game. First free throw is short-armed. It caroms off the front of the iron. A miss for JoJo Peterson. 59.6 ticks remaining in the first half as Bufkin checks into the game. Dickinson takes a seat, so Michigan will go small here for the final minute. One more free throw upcoming for Peterson, and he swishes that one home. Peterson will take a seat for Deonte Billups. 37-28, Michigan on top. Wolverines have led by as many as 16, but the Mastodons are on a 9-2 run. Llewellyn up the far side, rifles right wing Coby Bufkin, and he's fouled on the dribble drive by Morden Robertson, who bumped him at the elbow, and a 1-and-1 will upcome for Bufkin. 18 fouls on the Mastodons, meaning Michigan is in the bonus.
Before we leave, I would like everyone to know I thought they were the elephants. I didn't see the tusks, my bad.
We'll forgive you.
I just think it's fun when elephants are mascots.
Roll Tide.
No, they're the exception. This has been about Stomper.
Bufkin misses the front end of the 1-and-1, and so it's Mastodons, not elephants, basketball again. Jonqui handles up top, guarded by Llewellyn. Picks up his dribble, flips it on the right side for Desjardins. Nearly has it stripped, gets it back, hands off Billups on the wing, fakes a 3, drives on Bufkin, kicks back left side for Jonqui with Llewellyn. Jonqui jab steps, gets a screen, moving left, knifes into Llewellyn, now steps back, hoists up a deep contested 3, it's no good. And Joey Baker with the board. Shot clock turned off, 23 seconds and rolling left here in this first half. Michigan can hold for the final shot if it wants it.
Let's see if they can get some points to end this scoring drought before it trails them into the second half. Oh, timeout.
And Juwan Howard, sensing the importance here of a bucket with the scoring drought now at 3 minutes 28 seconds, calls a timeout here to draw up one final play. 15.3 ticks left here in the first half.
Don't want to take a scoring drought with you. It's like bad karma or something.
It's been a down, up, down half for the Wolverines. Started poorly, trailing 8-4, then ripped off a 20-0 run to take what was a 16-point lead, and since then they have struggled again. It's a 9-2 Mastodons run, and the offense has really fallen into a rut.
While we have been distracted, our lovely director Adam Bressler has been just talking about Tom Brady again.
See, I don't even need you to tell me that, because I know that's what he's doing. Although I guess he surprised us with the DJ discourse. If you're in the comments section, I don't want to like crush anybody's hopes, but I do not think we're getting Tom Brady on a call anytime soon. Why would you crush their hopes like that? I'm a realist. 37-28. We're starting too high. Like, we need to like take it down a notch in terms of getting Michigan alumni. Llewellyn at the point. He's played by Jonqui. Drops it off on the left side for Tyrus Reed with 8 to shoot. Hands off Jet Howard. Squares, fires for 3. It's good! Ring up a triple for Jet Howard. 2 seconds to go. Jonqui at half court. This is good if it goes. High off the glass. No good. Jet Howard sends Michigan into the locker room on a positive note. He cans a deep triple to put the Wolverines up 40-28.
Just like they drew it up.
Just like they drew it up indeed. 8 points for Jet Howard, 2 3-pointers in the half. Wolverines snap a 3.5-minute scoreless drought. They'll take a 40-28 lead, a 12-point lead, into halftime here. A down-up, down performance, as we say. Inconsistent. We've seen good and bad from Michigan so far in this half. What has stood out to you, Kendall, about the way the Wolverines have played?
This is difficult because there's been like multiple different phases of this game. When they were on, the biggest thing that they were doing is getting fast points, coming down, taking a 3, getting it in Hunter Dickinson. And on the other side, they were forcing the Mastodons? Yes, not the Elephants, to take all of the time that they had to, make every extra pass, to put up a shot frantically in the last 2 seconds. And once that type of pressure, most of them were missing. When they gave them time to set up, They gave them time to, not make those silly mistakes. On the same time, when they came down to this side, they weren't having that type of quick success anymore. And really, they were dominating time of possession. They didn't need to dominate time of possession. They needed to dominate the pace of play that they wanted it to be. And when they lost that, they lost all of their momentum.
And we warned in the pregame show that the Mastodons are prone to turnovers, and indeed they committed 12 first-half turnovers. Credit to Michigan's defense, which has played well, forcing Purdue Fort Wayne to take a lot of contested, running, off-balance shots. So Michigan has had that going for it. Its offense, though, has disappeared, appeared, and then disappeared again.
They're magicians.
For better and for worse, yes. Dickinson with 13 points. He's really led the way as expected. Jet Howard, the second leading scorer, with 8, and then Joey Baker with 6. It's Baker and Terrence Williams who lead in the plus-minus category, if you care about that certain sort of thing, with plus 13s, respectively. Largest lead for the Wolverines was 16. That was at 35-19. Michigan ripped off a 20-0 run to take a 24-8 lead after being down 8-4 early. 14 points off the 12 Mastodons turnovers as well. If you're Juwan Howard right now, what are you emphasizing in the locker room at halftime? What do the Wolverines need to do more of, and what do they need to try and stay away from for these ultimate 20 minutes upcoming in just a little bit?
More of on the defensive side, kind of in a harsh way, making Purdue Fort Wayne having to make fools of themselves, like I mentioned, not letting them get anything set up, making them take all of their time so that when they put up a shot last minute, it's not the best. Something that they could probably afford to do a little bit less of is forget how to score for 3 minutes at a time. Not very highbrow analysis, but honestly the most important thing that they need to do. As long as they're consistently, even if they're just matching Purdue Fort Wayne, not even outscoring them, just matching them, they're going to win this game because Purdue Fort Wayne is going to continue making those mistakes and Michigan is going to continue to capitalize on them. But you can't just rely on fast breaks. And as much as I would love to just rely on the quick plays, you're going to have to learn how to set up on offense and actually convert those attempts.
Simple advice, but sometimes that's all you need. Let's take a look at some scores around the Big Ten. Do you have a favorite team we want to look at first?
I get targeted every time we talk about the Big Ten. No.
You don't have a favorite
I
team?
love teams equally.
All right, let's
hate all Big Ten teams equally.
Let's go to the pride of New Jersey because we just had a broadcast there. Rutgers with a roaring start to its season, playing Columbia. A bit of a tri-state area battle there. The Scarlet Knights up 18-3. Early lead there, just 8 minutes into the ball game. Michigan State, the in-state foes, up 18-5 over Northern Arizona. That game just underway 10 minutes in. Joey Hauser, the leading scorer with 6. Indiana, the 13th ranked team in the country, the highest ranked Big Ten team, is up 18-17 in an early battle with Morehead State. Trace Jackson Davis, an All-American favorite with 4. Ohio State trails Robert Morris 15-13. Maryland with a 24-12 lead, doubling up Niagara early. Iowa, shout out Iowa, up 28-15 over Bethune-Cookman. Penn State in a dogfight with Winthrop early in the first half, 22-19 the score. And then, of course, Michigan up on Purdue Fort Wayne 40-28. Hunter Dickinson, the leading scorer with 13 points. A few games coming up later as well. It's an in-state clash between Northwestern and Chicago State. Maine pays a visit to Lincoln, Nebraska to take on the Cornhuskers. South Dakota State is at the Kohl Center to play Wisconsin. Another in-state Illinois clash with Illinois hosting Eastern Illinois. And then the Broncos of Western Michigan have made the trek up to Minneapolis to take on the Golden Gophers. So a full slate of Big Ten basketball on this season opening Monday, except for Purdue. The Boilermakers had to be different. They'll play tomorrow against Milwaukee.
They can't play at the same time.
As
Purdue Fort Wayne. People will get confused.
Well, you know, this is a good point. It's kind of like Indiana and IUPUI.
Yeah. Some people just, they don't know. They're going to turn on a game. They're going to be very disappointed.
Well,
on both sides.
to be clear, Michigan is playing Purdue Fort Wayne tonight, not Purdue. Feels like we should clarify that now.
In case you weren't aware. I feel like I've said Fort Wayne every single time.
And we've had some good banter on
And
the
I've
Elephants.
made fun of their mascot.
Correct.
No, I ended my basketball coverage last season making fun of a mascot.
Which mascot?
The Villanova Wildcat mascot. It's terrifying. I made a comment saying I didn't want it near me, and then it immediately came near me.
That's kind of how those
And I
things
was
go.
made fun of by Charlie. So, you know what? At least it's not here. And if it was here, I would take a photo with it. I love elephants. I'm called an elephant, though, and then it'd get mad at me, and that would stink.
It's a
Actually,
ma-
I'm
it's a
not gonna,
mastodon.
actually, I'm not going to make that claim yet, because what if it's haunting?
Well, I'm
the
curious
Purdue-
what it looks
The
like.
Villanova mascot is haunting. If you've never seen it, look it up. It's scary.
It's a little scary.
No, it's so cute.
You think so?
He's so fun. Yes, what's his name?
This is actually a mascot request form. You want to fill it out?
No.
The next time Purdue Fort Wayne comes to Michigan, we'll take initiative early and get the mascot here.
It's so cute. Go look it up. Everybody go look it up. I love it.
I think it's a little scary.
Okay, well, we have different feet. Okay, compared to the Villanova mascot, you were at that game.
I was
It was
sitting next to you.
terrifying. It was so scary. It's the worst moment of my life is that mascot looking me dead in the eyes.
Well, glad we have recovered.
Everything comes full circle.
Does that mean you're going to see the mascot again?
No, I mean, I've started with being scared of the mascot.
Oh, and now you're
And now
friendly.
I'm friends with it.
Okay. Well, personal growth. We've seen it with Adam. Now we've seen it with Kendall. 40-28, Michigan on top of Purdue Fort Wayne. It's halftime here in the season opener from Chrysler Center. I'm Jared Greenspan alongside Kendall Spencer. Wrapping up our coverage here, but we have two waiting in the wings, Zach Linder and Coby Segal. We'll take our headsets in a couple of minutes as the second half set to tip off 7 minutes from now. Wolverines up 40-28. Hunter Dickinson leads the way with 11. Jet Howard has 8. Joey Baker has 6. Morden Robertson leads the way with 10 for the Mastodons. Interesting stat here. The Mastodons are out rebounding Michigan 23-16, even though Michigan has 7'1" Hunter Dickinson. So that's an area that I'm sure Juwan Howard isn't too happy about.
And it's been noticeable, too. There's been multiple times where they've taken a shot, and there's literally nobody to contest the Mastodon player for that ball. Just kind of running back to defense a bit too early. It wouldn't hurt to see them in there.
Bobby Planutis, the 6'8" graduate transfer from St. Bonaventure, has 8 rebounds on his own. But the Mastodons have 12 turnovers. Michigan with 7 steals and 4 blocks. A real sign of their intensity and activeness on defense through those opening 20 minutes.
It's the YMCA. Fitting.
Are you pro or anti the cheer YMCA?
Well, as I have learned in my Soch 379 class,
Oh,
this is common knowledge, but I only vaguely knew it, that basketball was invented at a YMCA. So you have to support that.
academic weapon.
I love this class. But yeah,
So we're pro YMCA here.
I took swimming lessons at the YMCA. So
I was more so talking about the cheer than the establishment, but we
because of that, I'm a fan of the cheer.
Okay.
Because without the YMCA, I wouldn't know how to swim. So we can celebrate that.
Let's celebrate it. Michigan taking the court just now, 5 minutes to play, or 5 minutes until they play again. 5 minutes remaining in halftime. Michigan up 40-28 over Purdue Fort Wayne. You're listening to WCBN's coverage of Michigan basketball.
Adam agrees that the Mastodon is cute.
Okay. Well, now
Because it is.
I am slightly more convinced.
I'm actually a leading expert on mascots now because I had to be one over summer. So
Again, you're listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor. Thanks for tuning in. Alongside Kendall Spencer, I'm Jared Greenspan. Almost about to turn things over to Coby, Segal, and Zach Linder in just a couple minutes here.
are you more scared of mascots that are like humans or animals?
You know, I've never really thought too deeply about it, but can I say both?
No. You have to pick one. I hate when
Humans.
I hate when they have a face.
Have you seen Purdue Pete?
I think, but I think I blocked it out, like to the deep
Good.
recesses of my mind. I just don't like why are you, that's just a person. Like at that point, just put a guy in the little outfit. Why do you have to have like a fake guy that goes in said outfit?
It's a good question. Kendall, I'll let you continue the mascot discourse for a few more minutes while I switch over my headset.
More mascot discourse.
Actually, you know, here's what I'm going to leave you with. Should Michigan have a mascot?
I can't answer this. This is impossible for me to answer because I am immensely pro mascot. And I love mascots. However, I would want to be the mascot if Michigan had a mascot. And I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to be the mascot. But if Michigan had a mascot, I would do it. Does that make sense? Zach, welcome to this silly little rant I'm going on.
Well, unfortunately, I missed half of it, so I don't really know what you were saying.
Jared asked if I think Michigan should have a mascot. I said I don't know because I am very pro mascot. But on the other hand, if we did have a mascot, I would want to do it. Like, I would want to be the mascot because that would be so fun, and I feel like it's just something that would fit me. But then I wouldn't have time to do anything else because I'd be too busy being the mascot all the time. And I don't want to do that, but I would have to. Like, it's in my nature. I'd have to be the mascot.
Well, that's a decision only you can make on what the best use of your time would be, whether it's as a mascot or sitting up here calling this game.
Well, I don't think we're getting a mascot anytime soon, so I don't think I have to worry about that. But I'm going to let Zach slowly bring this back to regular basketball discussion while I give my headset over to Coby. Thank you so much for listening to my silly little rants today. And we're going to talk about the second half now, so Zach, take it away.
Wolverines up 40-28 over Purdue Fort Wayne as there's just under 2 minutes left before second half tip-off. Zachary Linder here joined alongside Coby Segal for the second half of this game. And if you looked at Michigan last year, you saw several games where they really seemed to struggle in the first half. Well, actually, several games they struggled in the second half, it seemed. Here, obviously, getting out to the 12-point lead. Not perfect, but overall, I think about what you would expect from this Wolverines team. Coby, what are your key takeaways that you saw from that first half of play?
Well, my takeaways, I mean, the first like 4 or 5 minutes started off pretty slow, got down like 6-2, 8-2, whatever. But I loved the last 15 minutes. You can see Michigan's size really making a huge difference inside. I mean, Purdue's been able to get somewhat inside, but they can't finish because, I mean, Michigan's blocking shots. They're very long, and Michigan's 5 for 15 from 3. I mean, I'm not too concerned about that. If they made one more, they would have been shooting 40%. So, I mean, I think they're getting a lot of open three-point shots. But the thing that worried me last year and still worries me is the free throw shooting. They are 5 for 8. I know it's 8 shots first half. By saying, you know, don't panic. But it was a problem with last year, especially during the Villanova game. There's so many free throws that I'm just a little worried.
Yeah, Wolverines 46.9% from the field, as you mentioned. They've hit a third of their threes. The Mastodons only 35.5% on field goals. They're 5 for 13 on three-pointers for a 38.5% clip. Only 1 for 2 on free throws. Michigan played a relatively disciplined first half. As we are about to get set for the second half, Wolverines up 40-28, and they will get the ball to start the second half after Purdue Fort Wayne won the opening tip-off, and we didn't have any held balls. For the second half, Wolverines will be going from right to left. And Mastodons will go from left to right. Teams switch ends.
And some deep analytics on the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons. So I mean, the Mastodon, a herd-dwelling animal, and these guys score in bunches. You saw in the first half. See if Fort Wayne can put on a run here.
Llewellyn has it. Now Dickinson has it on the right side. Pass it back to Williams. Now Llewellyn has it back. We're around the arc. Now Buffkin will come in. And Howard will take a three and drain it from the right corner.
Great penetration by Buffkin there, passing it out to Howard.
Now Chung-Kui has it coming from the right corner, coming into the paint. He'll pass it off to the left side. Three-point attempt from the left corner from Morton Robinson. Missed, but offensive rebound. And an offensive foul will be called against, believe that's going to be Rob Petty.
I love it from Terrence Williams, sacrificing his body. He knows, he's one of the older guys on the team, setting the example that you got to sacrifice your body for the team.
Draws the foul call there, and Williams will inbound it to Llewellyn. Llewellyn will come in from the right side, go under the net, and out of bounds call, I believe. And the ball will turn over to the Mastodons. Planutis will throw it in to Chung-Kui. He'll take it across center court. Passes, he has it back now. Around the center, he'll take a three from the right side, and he'll bounce around and come out. Hunter Dickinson with the rebound. Now it'll be Jet Howard taking it up the left side. Now on the center, just outside the three-point arc, coming around to the right. He'll pass it to Williams. Pass back to Howard. Hunter Dickinson inside. He'll throw it to Llewellyn on the left side. He'll take a three off the rim. No good, and a foul will be called against the Mastodons.
Looks like Purdue Fort Wayne coming out with the same game plan on Hunter Dickinson. They're doubling him very quick, and to be effective, Hunter needs to make quick decisions. I think he made a great one right there, passing out to Llewellyn in the corner.
And the inbound throw from Buffkin goes into the backcourt. Williams will have it, and he'll give it to Llewellyn. On center court, just outside the arc. He'll come inside now. Pass and a dunk by Coby Buffkin.
On his head.
45-28 Wolverines. Now it'll be Chung-Kui just outside the arc. He'll pass it. Chung-Kui has it back. And a stoppage as Morton Robinson had the ball. It's going to be a foul called against the Wolverines. Their first of the half.
I mean, Coby Buffkin, you saw, well, you didn't see it because you're listening to this, but Coby Buffkin, after the play, tapped his hand to his head, showed Purdue it was on their head.
18-14 left to go in the second half. Wolverines have 45-28. Chung-Kui will have it after the inbound on the left side. He'll pass it to Morton Robinson. Chung-Kui has it back. Coming inside near the paint. Pass it to the corner. Three-point attempt from Billups. Misses, but is rebounded by Mulder. And that shot will be missed. Hunter Dickinson will have it. He'll pass it to Williams. Williams on the right side. He'll pass it inside to Howard, and it gets intercepted. Mastodons have it back. It'll be Chung-Kui coming up on the left side inside the arc. He'll pass it back to Mulder. Mulder will come around from the left side, or that's Planutis rather, in the paint now. He'll pass it back to Billups, who will take a three from the right side. Misses. Hunter Dickinson has the rebound. Wolverines have it back. Buffkin has it on the right side. And they'll hand it off to Jet Howard. Coming inside. Pass back to Buffkin. Take a jump shot. No good off the rim. Purdue Fort Wayne will take it back. It'll be Morton Robinson with the ball on the left side. He'll pass it to Chung-Kui. Morton Robinson will take a three from the left side and miss. And Hunter Dickinson had a rebound. And ball goes out of bounds. They're going to rule that They will call it Michigan basketball. 17:07 left in the second half. Wolverines ahead 45-28. They've outscored the Mastodons 5-0 in the second half. So we're about 3 minutes in. And now they're going to change the call and give Purdue Fort Wayne the basketball.
Yeah, I think that was the right call. Clearly off Hunter. Just couldn't handle the ball there.
Warren Robinson has it. He'll pass it to Peterson, who will come inside. Now a pass off to the left corner. Billups will take a three from the left corner and drain it. And Purdue Fort Wayne gets their first points of the second half on a three-pointer. 45-31 to score.
Yeah, if Purdue Fort Wayne wants a chance, they got to start making these threes. They're 6 for 19. Not great.
It'll be Llewellyn with the ball. He'll get inside the arc, come into the paint. Now pass to Hunter Dickinson, and a dunk by Dickinson. 47-31 Wolverines. Now Warren Robinson has the ball. He'll pass it to Peterson. Now pass to, it'll be to Jurnett. He'll take a mid-range shot. Hooker misses. Dickinson rebounds again. He'll pass it to Bufkin, who has it in the middle. The pass to Dickinson, who's just inside the paint. Pass back to Bufkin, up the middle. 15 left on the play clock. Pass to Dickinson inside, and another dunk! And Purdue Fort Wayne will take a timeout with 15:59 left in the second half. That is 2 back-to-back dunks by Hunter Dickinson.
There is nothing they can do to stop Hunter Dickinson. 17 points, 7 for 8 field goals. He's missed 1 shot. He's had 2 dunks in the last 2 possessions. The first one, I mean, Jalen Llewellyn, my opinion, he is the key to unlocking this team, you know, similar to Mike Smith. They had the home run with Mike Smith and Devontae Jones last year. The Michigan team really only succeeded near the end when Devontae Jones started going. We got Llewellyn 1 for 5. He's got 3 assists though. So if Llewellyn can be a scoring threat in addition to passing threat, I think that unlocks so much for Michigan's offense.
And a correction there, that was not a timeout by Purdue Fort Wayne. It was a foul on Jonathan DeJarnett. So Hunter Dickinson will get a 1 free throw when we come out of the timeout. It's 15:59 left in the second half. Wolverines are at 49-31 as we're in our first media timeout. And Hunter Dickinson now up to 17 points, leading the team. Jet Howard has 11. The Wolverines up to 50% on field goals, 19-38. And as you mentioned with the Mastodons, they're only 6 for 19 on 3-point attempts. They're taking a lot of attempts from outside the arc and just not very successful with it. Now Wolverines are 6 for 17. Not a ton better, but they're getting enough inside that they're producing most of their scoring from shorter distances.
Yeah, and when you're a team like the Mastodons, when your point guard is 5'8". Now, I love Damian Chongqui. I think he is a Horizon League stud. He'll be great in the Horizon League. I mean, that's not a diss, but they're just smaller in the Horizon League. Michigan, they are big. I mean, it doesn't just affect you inside, but when shooting threes, when there is a hand in your face that's taller, that's going to affect you more. And on top of it, I mean, Purdue Fort Wayne, they have 13 turnovers. Michigan has 6. Like, it's very simple math, but getting as many possessions as possible and limiting the other team's potential for a shot, that's like very simple math. You have more possessions, you'll get more chances to score.
Yeah, and absolutely. And we saw at times last year turnovers were something the Wolverines had an issue with. Not today, as they only have 6 at less than half the number that their opponent has. And so obviously, there's not only so much you can draw from one game, but definitely pretty clean performance from the Wolverines so far. And as they start facing tougher competition, that really is going to be the key. Obviously, as you said, you'd like to improve the free throw percentage. That ultimately was what doomed them in their Sweet 16 loss to Villanova. And then obviously the three-pointers, you'd like to get that up a little more. But overall, solid performance so far. As we come out of the media timeout, Hunter Dickinson will take one free throw attempt, try to get the Wolverines up to an even 50. 15:59 left in the second half. Michigan leads 49-31 here in their season opener against the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons. Dickinson at the line. He'll shoot it and he'll drain it. 50-31.
Hunter's free throw shooting can be important for his NBA stock as well.
Morton
For today.
Robertson will take it from the backcourt into the front court. He'll pass it to Roberts. Now pass to Billups. Back to Morton Roberts. Pass to the left side, and it'll be Roberts who will come in under the basket, being pressured by Williams. He'll get it back, and a foul is going to be called against Williams, I believe. That'll be his first of the game. Wolverine's second foul of the game. Mastodons have 3. So it'll be Peterson who will come out to inbound it. He'll be covered by Bufkin. In the front court from the right side. He'll throw it into Morton Robertson, who will walk back near the midcourt line. Get inside the arc. Being covered by Llewellyn. Now he'll pass to Roberts, who's going to take a shot from near, make it. 50-33 the score. Llewellyn will take it up from the backcourt. Get into the front court, come around to the left side. Being covered by Morton Robertson. He'll pass it to Bufkin. And a whistle and I believe a foul will be called against the Mastodons. That'll be their 4th foul of the half, less than 5 minutes in. We're at 15:08 left in the second half. As the Wolverines lead by 17. The foul will be against Eric Mulder. That'll be his second, I believe. And another whistle. And an offensive foul, I think. Coby Bufkin called with the offensive foul. That's his first of the game. So the Mastodons will get the ball back with 15:05 left as they trail 50-33. It'll be Morton Robertson taking it in up the right side. He'll pass it to Roberts. And Morton Robertson has it back. And Billups will get it, take a 3 and airball it. That'll get the student section riled up.
Yeah, I mean, you're already down 17, and then your best three-point shooter, he's at 3 threes today, airballs it. That's very tough. Just
that
devastating.
Did not look good. Llewellyn will have it in the front court. He'll pass it to Bufkin. And Hunter Dickinson inside, takes a short shot, misses it, gets the rebound, and now we'll get it in.
Too big. He's just too big.
The 7'1" guy gets it now. Purdue Fort Wayne has the ball. It'll be a 3 from the corner from Billups. Off the front of the rim, misses. Williams has it for the Wolverines. Takes it to the front court. Pass to Hunter Dickinson, attempted. Got deflected, and then Morton Robertson tried to save it, but could not. Ball goes out of bounds. It will be the Wolverines basketball. And Bobby Planutis and Damian Chungkui will come back in for the Mastodons, as well as Eric Mulder. And Jet Howard will come back into the game, as well as Joey Baker for the Wolverines. Jet Howard inside, pass to Baker from the left corner, drains a 3, and the Wolverines go up by 22. Their 7th 3 of the game. Chungkui now has it. Dribbling inside. Now pass to the outside to Peterson. He's now in the paint. He'll pass it to Planutis, that is, coming around. Now pass it to Chungkui. And the shot is good. And it's a 20-point game, 55-35 Wolverines.
Chungkui with a great no-look pass inside. Great vision. My favorite match of the day, Doug McDaniel versus Chungkui.
Jet Howard coming inside, gets a layup. And Wolverines go back up by 22 as Howard had plenty of space in the paint. Now it'll be Kui coming up the right side, pass it to Planutis. Coming back around to the center, pass back to Kui on the right side. Being guarded by McDaniel. He'll come under the basket. And shot attempt from Peterson blocked, but Mulder gets it back. Now a three-point attempt from Kui from the left corner. That's off the rim, no good. And McDaniel's going to take it as Purdue Fort Wayne tried to get an offensive rebound. And he'll get a layup. And the Wolverines are up 24, and this crowd is into the game.
Switching hands mid-air. Doug McDaniel firing up this crowd. I mean, he is small, but he is so dynamic with his layups, like a mini Kyrie Irving.
With 12:44 left in the second half, Purdue Fort Wayne will take their first timeout of the half. They'll have 2 remaining in the game. And the Wolverines are rolling right now. They were up 40-28 at halftime, and they have outscored their opponent 19-7 in the first 7 minutes, 16 seconds of the second half.
I mean, this has been a very exciting second half so far. I mean, Hunter Dickinson continuing to dominate. Jet Howard showing out, the freshman, 13 points. You know, I mean, we weren't sure how long it would take for Jet Howard to be effective, but I mean, he's been very effective so far. Probably been Michigan's second best player. And Joey Baker, 3 threes. I mean, they've unlocked Joey Baker. Coach K couldn't do it. Jawan could. I think that says a lot about Jawan as a coach. Just saying.
Yeah, obviously, good sign there. 3 for 4 on three-pointers, getting them 9 points. Third on the team so far this evening. Jet Howard is 13 points, and none other than Hunter Dickinson leading the team with 20 points scored. As Dickinson 8 for 10 on field goals, 4 for 4 on free throws. He has not attempted a three-pointer. While that's something he improved a lot last year, his three-point percentage. With his size, the high probability play is not the three-pointer. It's getting up to the basket, getting the dunks when he can, getting the short layups, and shorter mid-range shots.
And if you are Purdue Fort Wayne, I think, I mean, you're struggling to score inside. You know, you're getting blocking, highly contested shots. And that's because of Hunter Dickinson. You need to find some way to get him out of the paint, maybe set screens up high, force him to defend on the perimeter. They were doing that early in the game, and it worked for them. I think they need to go back to some screen and rolls, force maybe a one-on-one between Hunter and Kui. I think Hunter's a lot bigger, but I mean, Kui, I think, could do a really good job one-on-one against Hunter.
Yeah, and of course, the Mastodons only 14 for 45 on field goals, so making less than a third. Of course, they're only 6 for 22 on three-point attempts, and some of them have looked like it's not like they're overly contested. They're just not making the shots that they should be making. Of course, that's the easy way to throw it over the height of the Wolverines, as you've talked about, but they're just not making those shots. So they're really, obviously, as you've mentioned, Wolverines have a significant size advantage, and the Mastodons are just not executing well enough to overcome that size advantage, hence why the Wolverines are up here 59-35 with 12:44 left in the game. Purdue Fort Wayne took a timeout after being outscored 19-7 to start the second half. And we are about ready to resume play. It'll be Mastodon's ball, as Roberts will inbound it to Kui. Outside, now comes onto the block. I'm at the center court. And triple pass around back to Kui. He'll run around to the center. He'll pass it to Planutis. Coming inside from the left, contested by Baker. And now it'll be Roberts. And now a three-pointer from Planutis from the left corner. Bounces around but comes out again. And McDaniel has it for the Wolverines. Comes into the paint, takes a layup, and off the rim, no good. Purdue Fort Wayne has the ball back. It'll be Kui coming up now. A three-point attempt from the right corner for Planutis, and he gets that. Mastodons finally make a three. It's 59-38 Wolverines with 12 to go.
and that's back-to-back open threes for Purdue Fort Wayne. And when you're taking a lot of threes, they've taken 24. Sometimes it just comes down to, do you make your three-pointers?
It'll be Jet Howard inside. He passes it to Williams. Outside on the right side, comes around to the middle. Left corner, McDaniel shoots a three off the front of the rim. Well short. Purdue Fort Wayne has it back. Chongqui again. Planutis takes another three, and that'll bounce up and out from the rim. Wolverines have it back. Howard has it. McDaniel has it inside. He'll throw it out to the right. Now Baker takes a three from the right side. No good off the rim. Mastodons have it back. Chongqui with the ball. He'll come into the paint. It's blocked by Baker. Chongqui now has it outside, being covered by Howard. Now Roberts has it, comes in the left side, just outside the paint, being tightly covered by Terrence Williams. Ball goes back outside. Chongqui has it inside, takes a mid-ranger, gets it and one as he is fouled. And will have a chance to make this a three-point play. Score is 59-40. Jet Howard will be charged with the foul. That'll be his second of the game with a 10:56 to go here in the second half. We'll take another media timeout as the Wolverines are ahead by 19, but the Mastodons will have a free throw coming out of the break.
And Sean Quee with a huge and one there. They set a screen on Taurus Reed Jr. there, and I mean not on Reed, but on McDaniel. But Reed was the other defender in coverage, and McDaniel was able to find space, and he hit the shot.
Yeah, Wolverines here have made exactly half of their shots from the floor, 23 of 46. 6 for 9 on free throws. Seeing a decent distribution. Hunter Dickinson, 20 points. Jet Howard, 13. No one else has double digits. They have 9 points from Joey Baker, 6 from Coby Buffkin. Jace Howard is 4, and then Jalen Llewellyn, Terrence Williams, and Doug McDaniel at 2. Terry Reed Jr. has 1 point. On the Mastodon side, Morton Robertson with 10. Planutis has 8. Chongqui has had the ball a lot, it feels like, but he only has 6 points. Billups has 9. Wolverines up 59-40 with 10:56 to go as they look to get a season-opening victory after they had beaten Division II Ferris State 88-75 on Friday. Wolverines season will continue from Little Caesars Arena in Detroit on Friday against Eastern Michigan. WCBN will be calling that, as well as the Legends Classic in Brooklyn, as the Wolverines take on Pittsburgh next Wednesday, and then either Arizona State or VCU next Thursday. Kellen Flynn and William Gregory will have to call both of the game in Detroit as well as both games in Brooklyn for the Wolverines, so be sure to tune in there.
And during the timeout, we had at every stadium, one of my favorite parts of going to the game is doing the ball shuffle, where like the helmet shuffle, the basketball shuffle like we had now, and I got it right. So I just want to say I feel very smart right now. Anytime you get it right, it's very tough. You can't blink. Just wanted to say that I'm very proud of that.
Well, in this particular instance, I was too busy reading numbers from Stat Broadcast. Admittedly, probably less interesting than the helmet shuffle. I will say I am very good at them. I just happened to be looking at my computer screen and not the Jumbotron. Otherwise, I would have gotten it as well.
Yes.
We are about set to come out of the break. It'll be one free throw for Damian Chongqui after he made the shot and got fouled right before the break. The free throw off the rim, rolls around, goes through, 59-41 to score. McDaniel will come up. He's covered by Morton Robertson. He'll come around to the right side. And a pass intended for Buffkin. Clearly not on the same page. Pass sailed well behind Buffkin, out of bounds across the back line. and Purdue Fort Wayne will take over. Planutis will inbound it to Chonghui. McDaniel in the backcourt, pressing. Chonghui will take it into the front court, go around to the left side. Pass to Morton Robertson, he'll come under the basket. Pass it back out to Planutis. It was going to take a three, but covered by Baker, I believe that was. Chonghui now has it, coming around the center court, just inside the arc. Now comes into the paint. Pass to the corner, Planutis three-pointer, and way short. And it'll be Wolverines' ball as Joey Baker has it on the left side. Take it to the left, pass it off to Reed. Now goes back to McDaniel. Standing on the block M, being covered by Chonghui. Tightly covered, 12 on the play shot clock. Now under 10. Patiently dribbling. Pass to Buffkin. He'll come inside, take a mid-ranger. Off the rim, no good. And a foul will be called.
Not a great possession there. Buffkin shot with 5 seconds left. A little mid-range baseline DeMar DeRozan like shot. If that was DeMar DeRozan, that probably goes in. But Coby Buffkin is not DeMar DeRozan. I'm not sure I like that shot.
Now Morton Robertson on the right side comes into the paint, takes a layup off the rim, no good. Rebound from Jace Howard. That'll be Buffkin on the side. Pass to McDaniel, passes to Jace Howard. Jet Howard is not in the game right now. McDaniel has it. He'll come into the paint, pass it to the corner. Baker takes a three off the front of the rim, no good. And that'll be rebounded by, I believe that's Petty. Peterson has it now. He'll pass to Billups. Billups will go outside the arc. 9 minutes left in the game. Wolverines up 59-41. Morton Robertson with it. In the paint. Contested by Baker. Planutis now has it. He comes into the paint. And he will get fouled on his shot attempt. Foul against Jace Howard. That's his fourth in the game. So the older Howard brother in serious foul trouble here. And we'll see if he stays in the game after this first free throw.
He's got 4 fouls in 9 minutes. I mean, I guess if you're Jace Howard, you know that probably not going to play a whole lot. So I don't know if it's a strategy, but if you want a guy in there to just commit fouls, I guess Jace Howard is the guy. But him and Reed bit on the shot fake by Planutis, a really good shot fake.
And Planutis makes both free throws. Howard's still in the game, so his father clearly is not too worried about him fouling out. Wolverines have the ball. Buffkin has it in the right corner, being covered by Morton Robertson. He'll come into the paint, now go back around. Take it outside with 15 on the shot clock. He'll come back and take a layup. Missed it. Ball goes out of bounds, and it's ruled to be off of Michigan on their offensive rebound attempt. Scores 59-43 Wolverines. The Mastodons will have the ball. Chonghui, as he's done a lot throughout this game, will be the ball handler from the backcourt. Being covered by Buffkin. He'll pass it to Morton Robertson on the left side. Throw to Planutis. He's going to take another three off the front of the rim. No good. And a foul will be called.
Yeah, that was clearly a foul on Joey Baker. That, I don't want to say that was a hook and hold. That I wouldn't put it past these Big Ten officials to call that.
So 8:20 left.
I think that might be what they're reviewing.
And looks like they will be reviewing that foul call. Planutis has taken 11 threes in this game. He's only made 3 of them. Chonghui 3 for 10. Or that's field goals, I'm sorry. But 9
Still
of
2 or not,
yeah, Planutis is 2 for 9. So 9 of the 11 shots that he's taken have been from beyond the arc, and he has not been doing it successfully. Mastodon's only 25.9% on three-pointers with a 7 for 27. Wolverines are 7 for 21.
Yeah, I mean, 2 for 9 is not going to do it when you already don't have the talent that Michigan have, shooting 27 for 27 combined for three, is it's just not going to do it. Like I don't care how you play, if you're shooting that low from three as the worst team, you're probably not going to win because they aren't getting anything inside. So I mean, it's just very tough if you are Purdue Fort Wayne.
Yeah, I mean, you look at their side, and we know that the Wolverines are the more talented team. So if you're on the other side, you need to out-execute them. And that's how upsets happen when one team's executing better. In this case, the Wolverines have more talent, and they're executing better. As a result, they have a commanding 59-43 lead here.
Yeah, and one thing I've seen for the last few minutes, Terrace Reed Jr., who's played 10 minutes, he shot the ball once. He's been playing very active defense, but I want to see him be an offensive threat. I think that's the next thing he needs to develop in his game. He's kind of in like a Kevon Looney role right now. Like he kind of just runs around and sets screens. I mean, I think it would bring a lot to Michigan's offense if he could develop his inside game, maybe an outside shot. Right now he's not really a threat, and defenses don't really have to guard him out there, so it's tough.
Well, I believe this, with 8:20 to go, I believe they took the 8-minute media timeout during this review. They have not announced a ruling yet. Foul had been called on Joey Baker. That was his first of the game. Perhaps reviewing for a potential flagrant. Not sure what the ruling was. I don't believe we were due for a media timeout. So they have called a flagrant 1 foul, which means the Mastodons will get 2 shots and the ball. And the first free throw is airballed.
Okay, he shot it with one hand, Ra Capetti.
And the second shot he will get. So Petty is 1 for 2 on free throws here. It'll make it a 15-point game. After the flagrant 1, the Mastodons will keep the ball. With 8:20 left in the game, Wolverines lead 59-44. Billups has it. Gives it to Chunkwe. Covered by McDaniel. Back behind the arc. Now to the left side. It's Morton Robertson. He'll pass it back to Planews. Morton Robertson takes a 3. From the left corner, he drains it. It's a 12-point game, 59-47.
Michigan hasn't scored in 5 minutes, and the Mastodons have been on an 11-0 run. Michigan's got to score here.
McDaniel has the ball on the left. Passes to that was Reed, I believe. Now Buffkin has it, being tightly covered by Morton Robertson. Reed will take a mid-ranger from just outside the foul line. No good, and the Mastodons have it back. Morton Robertson has it. He'll pass it back to Chunkwe, who comes into the paint on the right side. He will pass it across to the left side. Now Planutis has it, and pass back to Billups. Now Chunkwe has it back from the right. 8 seconds on the shot clock. He'll take a layup and get blocked by Baker. It will be Mastodons basketball, but they only have 6 seconds left on the shot clock. 7:14 left in the second half. I believe we did take the media timeout when they reviewed the foul, so there's no, the 8-minute media timeout's already been taken.
And on that last Michigan possession, Reed was at about the free throw line, and they didn't really guard him. They let him take the shot, and he missed. So, I mean, if you're Reed, you're going to get the opportunities. It's very important that you can make those shots.
There is a stoppage here. I don't know exactly what's happening here. Didn't see any injury. Jumbotron has no video or anything.
Yeah, it would be nice if a ref said something or something happened. I don't know what just happened. Maybe they're cleaning the floor. Or, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So be Mastodons basketball. 7:14 left in the game. They trail 59-47. 6 seconds to go on the shot clock. And foul will be called almost immediately, or an out-of-bounds ruling against Purdue Fort Wayne. Their coach is not happy about it, but Wolverines will get the ball back.
And I think he wanted the foul. Maybe he thought there was a push there, but no. I think he just went out of the bounds on his own volition there.
It looked like initially they were going to call a foul, and then they changed their mind. Wolverines are the beneficiary.
Mastodon's coach is livid.
Llewellyn has it on the left side as he's back in the game. Hunter Dickinson, he's also back in, and he will get fouled by, I believe that was Eric Mulder.
And that's the backside quick double that Hunter has to be aware. That time he kind of got lucky that they fouled him, but he almost got the ball stolen. Hunter needs to be aware that the double team is going to come from behind him where he can't see it.
Wolverines have not scored in the last 5 minutes, 51 seconds. As Jace Howard has the ball, both Howard brothers are in. Hunter Dickinson now has it on the left side. He'll come under the basket, and he's going to get fouled again. So he is fouled twice within a matter of seconds. That'll be the Mastodon's 6th. So the next foul will put the Wolverines in the bonus. Wolverines have 7 fouls, so each team will now be in the bonus. That foul was against Mulder, his 3rd of the game. It'll be Llewellyn inbounding the ball to Jet Howard. Dickinson has, but gives it back to Howard. Dickinson with a short layup gets it to go. And the Wolverines finally score. And now Mastodon's taking it down quickly. And a dunk by Roberts.
Hunter Dickinson had one of the funniest flops I've ever seen after he got tripped over.
So it'll be Llewellyn with the ball. Passes out to Williams from the left corner. Howard brothers pass it. Jet takes a 3. Bounces around, no good, and the rebound will come from Planutis. He'll pass it to Morton Robertson. Coming up the right side. Goes around behind the arc. Billups has it. Pass it to Planutis. Pass to Roberts. He'll take a 3 from the right. Rolls around, no good. Rebound by Terrence Williams.
He missed it. That was a wide open 3. Jet Howard has to do a better job of fighting over screens.
Jace Howard with a 3. Bounces up, bounces around, and it'll get stuck.
It's a wedgie.
So that'll count as a held ball. The possession arrow is with the Mastodon, so they will have it with 5:54 left in the game. Wolverines up 61-49.
This is a very rare occurrence. Back-to-back games in the preseason game and the game, there's been a wedgie. I think it's unbelievable.
Believe in the preseason game, both teams had it on a free throw. Coby Buffkin comes back in for the Wolverines. And now Purdue Fort Wayne will take their 3rd timeout of the game. So with 5:39 left as they trail by 12, they will have 1 timeout left.
This is getting a little dicey for Michigan right now. They're letting Fort Wayne hang around. And when you let teams hang around, that shoot a lot of 3s, like Fort Wayne, they can start getting hot, and then you're really in trouble. So Michigan has to learn to put teams away. They're a young team, but these next few minutes, Michigan's really got to step on their throats. You cannot let teams that are worse than you just hang around.
We saw this narrative a lot, especially in the early stages last year. Their first loss of the season to Seton Hall, they were up double digits in the second half. Their game at North Carolina, it was close. They were down close at halftime and then got blown out in the second half. Blew a late lead against Minnesota, blew a late lead at UCF. They had problems closing games last year. This is not something they want to see. After they got out to a dominant start and were up by 24, it's now 14. Purdue Fort Wayne has the ball. Morton Robertson has it back over the M. Passes it to Roberts. He'll come up under the basket. Short shot, throws it over. An air ball there as Buffkin has it. Passes it to Llewellyn, who will take it up to the front court. He'll be covered. The pass will go around. 3 from Jet Howard. Gets it.
That is how you make them pay for doubling Hunter. Brought the backside double and then left Howard wide open.
Morton Robertson has it for the Mastodons. He'll give it to, that was Peterson, who got blocked on a shot attempt. Ball will go out of bounds. Mastodons will keep it. 5:03 left in the game. 19 on the shot clock. Score is Wolverines 64, Mastodons 49.
Jet Howard is really good at basketball. I will say that.
Very definitive assertion there as Chongqui will inbound it to Peterson, I believe that was. Now Roberts has it. Pass it off to Planutis, back to Peterson. Or Roberts, rather. On the left side, 5 on the shot clock. Chongqui has it, and a 3-point attempt from Peterson, a long one off the backboard. Or it did hit the rim, because they will not call a shot clock violation. Wolverines have it. Jet Howard gets to the basket, gets it to go. Wolverines back up by 17.
Jet Howard takeover time right now.
Chongqui has it, getting tightly covered by Llewellyn. To Planutis, and then pass to Roberts. Back to Peterson as he'll fight through coverage. Now pass to Roberts on the other side. Comes under the basket. Now Petty has it in the paint. Pass to Planutis. 5 on the shot clock. 3-point attempt from Roberts. Off the rim, no good. Dickinson has it. Gives it to Buffkin, who will take it front court up the right side. Come around to the center. Pass it Jet Howard. Another 3. Gets it to go! And the Wolverines are up by 20.
That was a great pass by Buffkin. With a little sidearm pass. Jet Howard bangs it.
Mastodons have it. Chongqui has it as they pass it around. 3.5 minutes to go in the game. Wolverines up 20. He'll take it into the paint. Pass to the left side. 3-point attempt. Airballed from Roberts. Now Wolverines have it back. It'll be Terrence Williams. He'll give it to Jet Howard. And a whistle. And foul call, I believe. Or an injury timeout, rather. With 3:22 left in the game, Wolverines up 69-49. We'll take our final media timeout of the game.
Yeah, in Michigan, I mean, up 23 minutes left. I mean, I guess there's kind of time, but they've put them away here pretty much, and I really love how they made Fort Wayne pay for doubling Hunter Dickinson. You got when you double Hunter Dickinson, like, you're saying that you do not want him to beat us, we will let anyone else. And they let Jet Howard try to beat them, and he has. He's been unbelievable. He's got 21 points.
Yeah, and, you know, Hunter Dickinson, 9 for 11 from the floor. Also has converted on all 4 free throws. He has no three-pointers. Jet Howard, 8 for 14, and he's taken 9 three-pointers. He's converted on 5 of them. That's being successful from outside, and as you mentioned, those shots are opened up because the Mastodons, especially with their lack of relative size compared to the Wolverines, they have no choice but to double on Dickinson, or Dickinson will beat the team single-handedly.
And shout out Dependent Fanatic, who says Hunter Dickinson's about to surpass Juwan Howard in double-doubles all time. I think that is very cool. Hunter Dickinson has 22 points, 11 rebounds, so maybe he means next game. I'm not really sure, but I think that would be really cool. Hunter Dickinson, I don't want to say one of the all-time Michigan greats, but I think if, you know, Michigan can go far this year, and I don't know if he'll stay for Hunter. I certainly hope he gets drafted this year, but, you know, he has been unbelievable for Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, you have to figure if this season goes any way how he wants it, that he will be drafted in the NBA next year. Obviously, there was talk about if he would go into the draft, but decided to stick around for one more year and hopefully improve his draft stock, and with that, his long-term earnings. Obviously, with only 1 year required for college basketball players before they can go pro, the decisions they have to make this decision every year about at what point are they good enough that now is the time. And Dickinson, unlike some of his fellow Wolverines, decided that this past offseason was not the time. He's back. Wolverines and their fans are appreciative of it, and he has reasserted himself here in the season opener against the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons. We have 3:22 left here in the game. Wolverines are up 69-49 as they are in strong position to begin the season 1-0 as expected before they go and take on their eastern neighbor in eastern Michigan at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit at 9 p.m. Friday night. So we are about ready to resume. 3:22 left in the game. Wolverines have the ball after the injury timeout. It'll be Llewellyn with it. Now Williams has it, takes a three off the back rim, bounces around, but no good. Now Morton Robertson has it. He'll pass to Planutis on the left side. Planutis will come in the paint, passes it to Petty, who's under the basket, goes for a short shot but misses. Wolverines have it back. Jet Howard has it. He is covered here well by Billups, so he'll pass it to Buffkin. He's back in center court. Buffkin will come up, and Jet Howard on the right corner takes a three, misses. Attempted rebound by William. He does not get it. Mastodons have it back. It'll be Peterson. He'll throw it to Morton Robertson. And a pass attempt deflected by the Wolverines out of bounds. It'll stick with the Mastodons. 2:33 left in the game. 18 on the shot clock as Purdue Fort Wayne retains possession.
Purdue Fort Wayne has tried to drive on Michigan repeatedly, but Michigan does a good job of stopping the dribble penetration and forcing them to pass with their back towards the basket.
Peterson has it, passes to Petty. Stands just outside the arc. 3-point attempt from Morton Robertson. Off the rim, no good, but Petty will get the rebound. Now Morton Robertson has it back, almost loses possession, but regains it. So we have 10 seconds on the shot clock. They'll pass it around. Planutis takes a long three from the left, and he drains it.
T1000 was possessed. Whose feminine voice is this? Hard to understand the two. See, I don't know if it's me. Could be me. I apologize for my feminine voice.
Under 2 minutes left in the game. Wolverines have the ball. Hunter Dickinson has it just left of the paint. It's being double covered, and a 3-point attempt from Buffkin, no good. Mastodons have it back. It'll be Morton Robertson who has the ball. He'll pass it to the left side. Peterson takes a three from the corner. No good off the rim. Wolverines have it back. Jet Howard has a good look in a solid pass to Buffkin, who just drops it right in. 71-52 Wolverines with 1:25 to go. Mastodons have it. Morton Robertson goes under the basket, takes a reverse layup. It's good. 1:19 left. And Purdue Fort Wayne, down 17, will take their last time out of the game before the Wolverines get the ball back.
And so, yeah, Michigan looks pretty safe to say that they will get their first win of the season. So I think that is very exciting. And they did expect to win this game. So, I mean, it's not like a crazy thing that they won. But I think we saw a lot of good things. I think one, Jet Howard and Hunter Dickinson, I think they really stood out today. But some things I still would like to see is Jalen Llewellyn. You know, he took 5 shots, 3 assists though. I would like to have him be more aggressive because his passing threat will be more effective if he is a scoring threat as well.
Yeah, Wolverines up 17 here. They will go to 1-0. You'd expect they should beat Eastern Michigan, so they should head over to Brooklyn 2-0. And of course, their non-conference schedule, as we talked about a little in the pregame show, I believe, starts relatively soft. No real daunting challenges their first 6 games. But then they play they host Virginia in the ACC Big Ten Challenge 3 weeks from tomorrow, then head to London to play Kentucky. So they have a little time. Obviously, they played well. They haven't played perfectly. They're going to get the win. They have a little time to clean things up. But their non-conference schedule in December and even their last game in November does get more daunting. So we have a minute 19 left. Wolverines will get the ball after Purdue Fort Wayne's timeout. They do not have any remaining. And the Wolverines likely will not take the 3 they have. Michigan has the ball.
Oh, the bench mob is in.
Very much, as the shot attempt from, I believe that was number 42, Shedder, does not go, but Wolverines still have the ball. Glenn will get it. The bench mob gets a shot, 73-54. Wolverines subbed out their entire team, basically. Still some starters in for the Mastodons. 45 seconds to go in the game. And a shot attempt by Mulder. No good. Wolverines get it back. That'll be Silvala. 35 seconds to go. A 3-point attempt from Shedder is airballed. Mastodons have it back. That'll be Billups, I believe. Who will attempt a 3 from the left side, off the rim, no good. 22 seconds left, and here comes a layup, good from Shedder.
That was a great pass. Wow. Full court.
75-54 the score. 3-point attempt from Morton Robertson from the right side, no good, but missed rebound there from Glenn. Mastodons will get it back, an easy shot from Mulder goes. 75-56 the score. And that is going to do it here, as this game is over with the final score of your Michigan Wolverines 75 and the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons 56.
Yeah, and I mean, a great win from Michigan. They did cover the spread, which that's always cool. But yeah, I think I'm very encouraged by this win. They let them kind of hang around for a little bit, but they did not blow the lead. So, I mean, really all you can ask for in these non-conference schedules is to build some confidence and don't get upset.
Yeah, obviously these are games that they're supposed to win, and it's a game that they did win. Obviously good to see. I mean, you look last year when they struggled early on, it wasn't like ridiculous losses. It was kind of the middle tier teams. At this point, this is still a game that Wolverines easily should win. And they did. Obviously, Eastern Michigan, another opponent they should win. Competition gets a little tougher when they go to Brooklyn, play Pittsburgh, and then either Arizona State or VCU. Obviously, last year, 6-4 non-conference record, and it ultimately was a fight for the Wolverines just to make the NCAA tournament. Of course, the goal is not just to make it. They're starting the year ranked. Last year they were ranked I believe it was 6th to start the year. They're 22nd right now, and they're obviously hoping to keep that ranking and not be fighting for their tournament lives at the end.
Yes, that would. It was kind of stressful last year, because but it was also kind of fun because you knew they had to win every game and every game counted, and they did do a good job of winning the games they had to win. But yeah, I think as Michigan just needs to tread water in the non-conference, get better, and then near the end of the Big Ten conference play and into the Big Ten tournament, that's when they need to be playing their best.
Right, and obviously we saw last year, at the end of the year, they were just alternating wins and losses constantly. Of course, they then had that huge double-digit blown lead to Indiana in the first round of the NCAA tournament, which made a lot of people, myself included, think that it would be, if anything, probably them getting into a play-in game. Instead, they managed to get in, which some people thought was questionable, but they got in as an 11 seed. and then had a nice run beating Colorado State and then the upset win over Tennessee to get to the Sweet 16. And then, of course, just not a great game at Villanova. But the final score, 75-56 Wolverines. And Coby, do you have any final thoughts before we sign off?
Well, I'm going to give my man of the match. Man of the match goes to Jet Howard. I mean, just speaks for itself. He was just great. That's it.
Well, that's all the coverage we're going to have here. Thank you for listening to WCBN's coverage of Michigan basketball. For Zachary Linder, along with Coby Segal, along with Jared Greenspan and Kendall Spencer, who called the first half of the game. It's been WCBN Sports production of Wolverines basketball. Thank you for listening. Have a good rest of your night, and go Blue.